Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for being here. Hey, Barn Dog. Hey, Outspoken. It's good to see you guys. Please hit the like button on your way in. Share, subscribe, comment. It would be much appreciated. Okay, I think that everyone had a chance to uh, read some facts and get out of feelings. It says right here New York City Animal Care Centers, the ACC, the city's municipal shelter system policies. NYC ACC follows a low, a low kill model, meaning they only euthanize for severe medical or behavioral issues, not for space. In 2022, NYC ACC reported a live release rate over 90% for their dogs, meaning most are adopted, transferred for rescues, or reunited with the owners. Euthanasia is only a last resort for aggressive or terminally ill dogs. Okay, so we are we done with that? Are we done with this false concern, this false narrative from people? If they had a dog, they probably just eat it. Hold on one second. Okay, hey, foot soldier. It is good to see you. Let me remove my this picture. Okay, I just wanted to come to you and talk to you about a couple of things that have been in the news that have been being ignored. Uh, the first thing is, what do you notice about this message that came out on the 26th? The latest deflection from the Epstein files. I'm looking at the large amount of money owed by the Democrats after the presidential election, and the fact that they admit to paying probably illegally $11 million to singer who Beyonce. Hold that. For an endorsement. She never sang, not one note, and left the stage to a booing and angry audience. I didn't see that. If she was to give an endorsement, I don't think she has a song that endorses Harris. So I think an endorsement is an endorsement. I think that is a verbal uh, 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 I think that is done verbally in speech and reason for why that they endorse somebody. I don't think she has an "I endorse Harris" song. So there's that. So if she didn't do a song, is he saying that he knows that she was contractually paid to do a song? Does he know that she was allegedly paid $11 million for an endorsement? No, he knows none of this. But let's keep going. $3 million for expenses to Oprah. Okay. What do you know is about that? 600,000 to very low rated TV anchor Al Sharpton, a total lightweight in parentheses. What do you notice about these three people? Anything, and others to be named for doing absolutely nothing. These ridiculous fees were incorrectly stated in the books and records. Now, we do know that speaking of Jeffrey Epstein said that 4547 is unable to read a budget sheet. He is incapable of actually doing what it is to manage a business. He said he can't even read a budget sheet. Okay, so he has read their budget sheets. I don't know where. This is a part of the Democratic. party. It is not part of the White House papers that would have to have been left in the White House. Kind of like those papers that he took from the White House, and upon them requesting them back, refused to give back. No, this is the Democratic Party's receipts. So, uh, did he? Did he show some receipts? No, he's just talking on Truth Social. Okay, none of these ridiculous fees were incorrectly stated in the books and records. You are not allowed to pay for an endorsement. It is totally illegal to do so. So now, 45, 47 it is inept at the law. 45, 47, who has been convicted for breaking the law many, many times over. Okay, okay. Can you imagine what would happen if politicians started paying for people to endorse them? All hell would break out. Kamala and all of those that received endorsement money broke the law. They should be prosecuted. So this is the man who says that he is not going to weaponize his justice system. He has called for Obama to be prosecuted. He's calling for Kamala Harris to be prostituted. When I think about him, I'm thinking about prostituting. He's uh, he's also putting Oprah, L. Sharpton, Beyonce. He put Obama in last week. Uh, do you think he's trying to shore up his base with some brown meat? Do you think that it is so obvious that he thinks he already told you he think that people who are question on his base are questioning the ridiculousness that they are putting out about these Epstein files and the lies that they are telling about these Epstein files? We already know that he came out and said that they were dummies and he didn't want their support. So did he decide to throw out brown meat for them because he thinks that they are so dumb that all he has to do is just sprinkle a little racism in his deflections and they'll all come clamoring back? I it appears this is the only thing uh, that this statement is representing. Um, Nobody has any comment. Hey, Indigo, thank you for being here. Um, 45 47 doesn't know what he's talking about. It's actually unconstitutional. So, uh, there's that. Now, how many? I'm pretty sure by now, you guys have heard about the white-only towns coming to a city near you. Have you guys heard about these white-only towns? Hey, them slick, listening while eating. Have you guys heard about these white-only towns? Let's talk about it. I want. That's why my video is named that. Let me share this video with you. Uh, we're gonna uh, we're gonna talk about it. I'll share the article with you first. Let me make sure it's sharing. Uh, do you guys see the article sharing? Has been something going on with StreamYard. Oh, I see it's sharing now. Okay, let's hear about coming soon. Whites only community expands throughout the Midwest. Okay, so coming soon, white only community expands throughout the Midwest. Eric Orwell, co founder of Return to the Land, they have a whole website out inviting you to buy into their white only. Right now, it's basically a campground type of thing. But once going to South Africa, where they have a whites only um, section in South Africa. It's been there for about 30 years, and every single person of them are white. And one of the things that You must be. You can't be black. You can't be any other ethnicity. You must be white. You can't be Jewish. You can't be gay. And these are the requirements. So they went to South. He went to South Africa, and he thought that they were some little colony or something. And then he was impressed that they had buildings, and they actually had infrastructure. They actually had what else was he impressed with? They had infrastructure, they had buildings, they had a people who were actually operatively working in their town. This was a full functioning town. While he has built a place in Arkansas in the Ozark mountains that is very primitive. And so this spurred him forward to believe that he doesn't have to just hide his white only compounds in the rural areas. Now they're talking about spreading them to different places all across the United States. The next spot they're looking at is in Missouri. I thought that they already had the Missouri spot. Okay. A founder of Return to the Land, a whites only group based in northern Arkansas, is celebrating the group expansion to Springfield, Missouri, to promote strong families with a common ancestry. Fox 2 now reports the private member community, which is exclusive for whites, is looking to set up shop near near a midwestern town, while vetting members through an application process based on European ancestry, and with Jewish people banned from even the thought of obtaining a membership. Now, here's my question to you. Here is my question. Isn't this anti-Semitic? Isn't this anti-Semitic? Now, we do know that this administration is accusing colleges like Columbia and Harvard for being anti-Semitic, and this is why they are taking federal funds from them. This is why they are arresting students. Isn't this why they're doing this? So, is 4547 going to go in to these encampments who prohibit Jewish people from living there and do anything about this? Since this administration wants to pretend like all of the things they are doing is because of anti-Semitism. Okay, no, I don't think so. Okay, let me see if you guys have any answers to that. Hey, Renee. Hey, Sandy. It's good to see you. Okay, you guys don't have anything to add to that. So let me finish. Okay. The group's website labels the goals as creating a next generation that promotes traditional values. We seek to create a decentralized movement formed of various individuals and societies returning to the land, website says. We promote strong family with common ancestry. I'm pretty sure they will be doing their common thing that they always do. Mixing women and children and all of those things that they are known to do in these communes type of situations. Uh, I'm just saying. We will promote strong family values with common ancestry and raise the next generation in an environment that reflects our traditional values. Orwell home base is in northern Arkansas and has been developed since 2023 on 160 acres. The area became the target due to its affordable land, natural beauty, abundant water resources, and conservative, predominantly predominantly white populations. I thought that that was one of the requirements. Now, it is predominantly white, but the leader's inspiration came from the Orenza, South Africa, also known as an exclusive white Afrikaner settlement. Uh, According to Rutgers, close to 3,000 people live in Orenza, started by a group of white Afrikaners who were so opposed to the majority black rule established with the end of apartheid 30 years ago. Today, the town is singled out with all residents, including menial, uh, menial workers, being white. Orwell visited the town and called their whites only way of life extraordinary. You should realize how special it is and how important it is, he said in a video posted on X in January of 2025. And you're not just leading the way for Afrikaners, you're leading the way for especially European people all over the world. But more at a large scale. Any group who wants to define their own future, you are showing the way. However, his plan could be a dream deferred, as the group's ideology has received some backlash from the state officials and law enforcement. And it's weird that they are receiving a state backlash from the governor. Uh, let me. These are it's surprising. Republican, the Attorney General. The Attorney General, Tim Griffin, has pursued a bigoted initiative in his own right. And this is who's pushing back allegedly on this town. He said that there is no, Griffin, the Attorney General, there is no place for racism in Arkansas. I think you need to tell the residents of Arkansas this because there are plenty sundown towns in Arkansas. I digress. He comes out with this public message. Republican Attorney General Tim Griffith has pursued bigoted initiative in his own right, as evidenced by his participation in the right-wing crusade against diversity and school lesson plans that discuss racial justice. But whites only anti-Jew community formed in Arkansas by a white supremacist group that calls itself Return to the Land is apparently a step too far for the AG's eyes. So he has no problem with dismantling a whole lot of things that pertains to gays and blacks. So what is he saying this is too much for? Could it be the Jewish part? It could be the Jewish part. Let's not forget that we have too many. This is Benjamin Netanyahu on his third visit to the United States, a war criminal. This is Cory Booker over here in the corner. Of course, we have Chuck Schumer right here, Cindy Sheehan right there, Ted Cruz. I forget who all of these other guys are. I think it's John. No, that's not John Corner. All of these are our senators, Democrat and Republican senators, who are all standing there to be in a picture with Netanyahu. Not trying to get Netanyahu, who has a warrant out for his arrest for war crimes, who feels comfortable coming here, and they are behind him, smiling like puppets. And let's not forget Hakeem Jeffries, the lead Democrat in Congress, who takes plenty of money from APACs. Okay, so let's see who is. They talk a good game, but these are the same people who are supporting Israel. So obviously, it's a step too far for them to say Jewish people cannot live in this community. But I'm wondering, what are they going to do about the anti-Semitic behavior and advancement that this community is doing against these Jewish people? It's all about anti-Semitism. Why the people who were protesters, they actually have some professors who have gotten together to write down all of the names of the protesters. They may be more familiar, and they have a little secret group that they put together in these colleges to name the protesters in these groups, to expel them for college for their anti-Semitic behavior in the support of the Palestinian people, not in support of Hamas, in support of the Palestinian people. Now, these protests happened last year, and now 4547 is in office, and with Marco Rubio taking back their visas and all of this type of stuff. You know, why is this important? Why is any of this important? Because most of it is going ignored. Most people are ignoring of these facts, and white people are feeling empowered. There was a case of a woman who was in a laundromat. I think it was in Georgia, and a woman brushed by her and called her an N word, and she went outside to get her license plate and to talk shit to her too. And the woman said, "You don't know who's in office. We can do whatever we want. Trump's in office. We can say whatever we want. You have the right to free speech, but what comes with some speech is repercussions." So yeah, she called the cop and said that there was a black woman harassing her, but never said anything about what she said to the black woman. So these people are feeling emboldened. So some groups claim that the movement should be deemed illegal since it promotes segregation. 4547, if you don't know, it signed an executive order saying that contractors who receive government contracts can segregate their workers if they choose. So are we gonna? I reported on that. Are we gonna forget that type of stuff? This is the reason why I'm reporting on it. And there are laws in place such as the Arkansas Fair Housing Act and the Fair Housing Act of 1968 that prohibits such acts. We urge the Arkansas Fair Housing Commission, local elected official, and law enforcement to act swiftly to ensure that the Northeast Arkansas remains a welcome and inclusive community, not a refuge for intolerant and exclusion. Lindy Brock, Fetterman, regional director of the Anti Defamation League of South Central, said in a statement. But Lindsay, um, there are some enforcement officials who live there, sweetheart. There are some federal law enforcement officials who also live there, not just state law enforcement officials. There are alleged some federal law enforcement officials who packed up their bags to move there, sweetheart. Anti Defamation League. We know that that is a Jewish operation. Oh, okay. However, white people aren't the only demographic seeking a change of scenery to preserve their tradition. A 2020 report highlighted an opportunity in this is the black co-op. However, they bought. I think they started with 100 acres of land, and then a black woman went in there and bought. I think she bought up 500 acres of land, Wilkinson County, roughly 2 hours from Atlanta, where 19 black families pooled their money to purchase nearly 97 acres of land to escape the everyday racism prevalent in America. But the thing about this co-op is that they do not exclude people based on their race. So I just wanted to know if you guys were familiar with this. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hey, Very Carrie. Hey, Buddha Bell. Hey, a viewers of you. Thumbs up, like, and share. Is Nubiology in here? Hey, Nubiology. Hey, Miss Magnificent. Are you guys familiar with this? Have you guys heard about this? Okay, so I'm gonna go on. I'm not getting any responses. I want to share a couple of videos, and I'll let you hear about it yourselves. Here we go. This is Sky News. The link is in my description box. Inside Return to the Land, the group making a whites only community. I'm going to drop my link first. So if anybody have any comments, you're more than welcome to come up and comment. We're going to go through this little short video, and you're more than welcome to hit the link and say what you think about some of the things that they are saying in this video. Let me pin the link right quick. And you guys know that my goals are always, if you learned something here that you did not know before, please feel free to help me with my goals, because those are my goals, to let you learn something that you may not have known before. Here we go.
And that culture effectively was saying,
what we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
and that culture effectively was saying, this is a white culture, a whites only place.
White American culture.
Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right, sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references?
Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic and sometimes surreal experience. But this is built on a radical modern premise, made possible because of a new political and technological moment. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US. Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own for generations to come.
You see that they also were a force in that Charlotte's Tiki Torch march that happened. Yes, they were a part of that planning and that whole event, allegedly. Let's continue.
Important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
But in this southern US state, people who have lived through segregation once fear it is returning.
When you hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful and you don't know who to trust.
Its founder says he is building a fortress for the white race.
It's a racial association.
Now, he needs to build a fortress for the right race when all of this white privilege is circling all around America. What a loser that he has to be, that he can't make it among other races, or what hate he must have for other people who are not white, that he finds that he must live in a cocoon of whiteness. when in America, in my opinion, they have all the advantages over any and every other race. But I guess he doesn't want to see them. Where are they going to work? Let's continue. Hit the link if anybody want to talk. There is a lot of you're going to hear in this.
I kind of want to ask you, after seeing this, do you think what we're doing is immoral?
Arkansas, in the southern United States.
Welcome to Little Rock, where the local time is 4:27.
For the last few years, I've been exploring how an ethno-nationalist movement has been organizing online. A network that aims to define countries by ethnicity, but which links across borders. And this is the place that one group has chosen to put that into radical, real-world action.
You want a white nation? Build a white town. It can be done, and we're doing it.
It is an extreme view, but it draws on more familiar arguments. That mass immigration is out of control, that Western societies are in danger of losing their fundamental character as a result.
So one of the arguments here is that this isn't about persecution of an ethnic identity, but protection of an ethnic identity, and that identity happens to be white. So we're going.
But this nation, let me make sure my mic is on. But this nation identity wasn't in jeopardy of losing anything when the white settlers came over here and depleted nearly all of the indigenous people who were here. See, this is what it always starts with when they got here, as if no one else were here, and as if we saw in that Mehdi Hassan Jubilee debate, one person said that he was an indigenous people because his ancestors are rooted back here to the 1500s. When Mehdi Hassan said, "What before the 1500s?" He had no answer because they don't want to admit that they are not the people of this nation, while they want to pretend like every other person in this nation don't belong here, and only they do. Let's continue. The link is pinned. If you want to come on up.
Going here now up into these pretty remote woods to really put that to the test.
We are driving deep into the Ozark Mountains. Group's leaders are not from Arkansas, and they've chosen these remote parts for a reason. All the locals I spoke to knew only a little about the group, if anything.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's not my choice.
Yeah, but do you think they should have the freedom to do it?
That's what they want to do.
I think it's kind of a little fishy around here, but just be safe.
The leader of the group is called Eric Orwell, and he's invited me to spend a few days with them.
Hey, Eric.
He insists what he is doing here is entirely legal, and that's key, because if it is, it could be a blueprint for many other communities to come.
Welcome to the Ozarks.
Thank you very much.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites only place.
White American culture. Yeah, not just white, but white American.
But what this sounds like.
Oh, so you went over to the white Afrikaners. Let me make sure you went over to the white Afrikaners and saw how more developed and advanced their community was. So are you saying the white Afrikaners who were just shipped over here would not be welcome, even though you were so impressed by their white-only community? Okay, so white Americans, no immigrants, even if they are white immigrants. Okay, so we want to be sure who is allowed to live among these people, and you will be interested in who some of these people are.
is bringing back segregation. Is that?
Oh, and during this filming right here, some people said that they did not want to be talked about on cameras, and allegedly these are the law enforcement people and the federal agents who have decided to live in this community. Let's continue.
Fair assessment?
Well, I mean, it's free association. So we're not trying to keep other people down. This is a small settlement in the middle of the Ozarks.
But they are being kept out.
Well, I mean, you don't let everyone into your home.
160 acres taking shape, forest cleared, roads laid, cabins built. Around 40 people live here. Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members.
A view. Remember we was talking about those outhouses. This basically looked like an outhouse that used to be on my grandmother's property. But they want to pay to be away from us so much that they're living in what it boils down to is something the size of an outhouse. Now, someone on here is going to say that if blacks wanted a black community, how come they don't build it and no one would bother them? Pretending and acting as if they do not know about all the successful black communities, not because they wanted to separate themselves. It's because they wanted to concentrate and be able to build something for their futures, for their families, because they were so sidelined in America by the racism that was in America in Jim Crow era. So are we going to pretend like we don't know that black people said, well, hey, if you don't want us, we will build with ourselves. And when they got successful, what happened to these black communities that didn't come together out of spite or hate? They came together to preserve themselves and to flourish. What happened to them? They were burned out, bombed out, all types of things, and lost everything. Let's continue.
Hundreds more from across the world have paid to be members. And I'm intrigued to find out what motivates people to give up their old lives for this.
We met here.
Oh, you met here? I guess he came here.
I met here on like day 3.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a story. It beats Tinder, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
David and Caitlin not only met here, they got married last month. They wouldn't be here without social media.
Somebody had posted a video of Eric.
Yeah.
I saw videos of them actually building stuff on the land. I was like, oh man, I gotta come check this out.
I figure if there's nothing else like this in the country, like it should at least exist.
Yeah.
Like, do people really think that we should never be able to choose our neighbors?
It wouldn't be controversial for any other racial group to do the same thing.
I think it'd be quite controversial.
Well, if you don't have rules against it, then, you know.
There are rules against it. There are housing laws against it. If you don't have rules against it, why do you think that there are rules against it? These people are playing games in our faces and acting, oh no, it's so innocent. We're just choosing who our neighbors are. You don't invite everyone into your house. You don't disavow people. Most people who are not racist don't disallow people in their houses based upon their race. So they're trying to make their racism sound real innocent here. The link is pinned. If you have any comments that I may miss, you're more than welcome to come up.
Anyone of any race can come and be your neighbor, and they're watching the news, which is telling you that white people are, the cause of all your problems and all the ills of society, and suddenly, your children are much less safe, because there's a lot.
The news is telling you white people are the cause of all problems, and when does that happen? When has the and causing all the problems? When does that ever happen that the news tell you that the white people are the problem? Usually the news tells you that everyone else but the white people are the problems. So let's continue. Bullshit.
Lot of violence, anti-white violence happening to white people and white children. And so
specifically sort of motivated by racism against white people. What sort of things the headings are about?
So this caused a lot of anti-white violence against white people and their children. So are we going with the white people are being targeted by racists? That's what he just said. That's what he just said. The link is in my description box. I will not go back on this video. Let's go.
Yeah. I'd like to continue talking, but the rain starts and it comes down hard.
It started raining on their ass. Jesus said no. Jesus said, "Shut up with your white tears. Spare me."
The residents shelter in their cabins and night falls. The next morning. This is how the average weekend works at Return to the Land, or RTTL, what they call a work party, made up of residents, but also new recruits who have come to check out the project. It is hot, hard work. To join RTTL, you have to sign up to the Private Members Association, or PMA. There are strict criteria for membership, as Scott Thomas, a board member and one of the founding fathers here, explains.
You have to be a PMA member to live here.
Yeah.
So you have to be someone of European heritage.
The group's logo, based on a Nordic rune, draws on that heritage. It is the PMA that the group believes makes this all legal. Once members have been vetted on ethnicity and other grounds, they can buy shares in the Limited Liability Company, or LLC. Those shares translate to acres of land that they can build on. Peter Seri is the brains behind the legal side of things.
Civil Rights Act is there for a reason, and this is a way around it.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll survive contact with?
Now he's an attorney, and that's his way of getting around the Civil Rights Act. He just told you yes, which negates that dingy bitch earlier who said, well, if there's no rule, if there's no laws against it, they know there are laws against this, and this is their get around of getting out of the Fair Housing Act per se. Now, I do want you to pay close attention to Peter with his 1488 tattoo. 14 meaning the 14 of words that I noticed that a lot of times they don't say the HH man's name who slaughtered all the Jews, that he said about preserving the family and all of this, and the 88, 8 is the 8 equated to the alphabet is the letter H. 88 is Hitler. Okay, so let's get
legal system, the courts, if it came to that.
Hopefully.
Do you think it's racist or not? Do you reject that term? Do you embrace it?
I don't know about that term. I mean, people use it in a lot of different ways. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the internet who would call me racist. I don't really know or care whether that term applies to me or not. Maybe.
Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, I almost don't know what racist means anymore. Like it's
a prejudice towards someone who's from a different ethnicity.
Well, actually, the modern definition of racism, according to critical race theory, all white people are racist automatically.
A lot of this is reaction to left-wing identity politics.
Okay, so according to critical race theories, all white people are racist. So I want to know what class in critical race theory has he taken where he learned this. It's bullshit. Propaganda, victimizing the people, and making victimizing themselves, and making themselves feel some type of false victimhood. A whole lot of bullshit. These are your new voters who are coming out to express exactly. These are the new voters. These are not old people. These are young people. And this is what young Americans are thinking is what is good for America, and they're out here voicing this type of bullshit under this administration. This is why I'm showing this to you. Let's continue.
Political race theory and movements like Black Lives Matter. And fundamentally, this is identity politics, but white identity politics. And what they're building here is a safe space for people of European ancestry.
It's exclusionary. It's sort of an attempt at segregation.
Right.
Is that fair?
Probably.
While the men labour at the roadside, the women of Return to the Land are at work too, looking after the 6 children who live and are homeschooled here full time. And they're preparing food for the weekly community dinner. The theme tonight, colonial.
I don't know, dinner's really...
Okay, what is that? Handmaid's Tale. I'm gonna stop here. They are also offering a certain amount of money to any woman who have a baby there. I'm gonna stop here and let you hear a little bit more. Hold on. I'm gonna stop here and let you hear from another a woman who is talking about this commune is what I'll call it. I'm going to call it a commune. Let's hear how the women are affected in this community. If you haven't checked her out, the link is in my description box.
I'm about to tell you about an all-whites community that is being formed in Arkansas in the Ozarks. But before I do, I just want to issue a trigger warning. This is extremely racist. This right here is Eric Orwell, and he is the founder of Return to the Land, the all-white community that they have built in Arkansas. The community already has 40 members, and they have over 100 that are already signed up and paid to move in as well. And yes, you heard me correctly. You have to sign up and pay to live in this community. That is how they get around the Fair Housing Act. I'm still not sure if this is completely legal, but apparently they've spent thousands and thousands of dollars of figuring out the legal framework of it. So, yeah. I'm sure you will also not be shocked to find out that among the 40 people who already live in there are federal agents and law enforcement officers. And the reason I know that is because when the journalist went in to do the story on this place, it was announced that there was law enforcement and federal agents, and they did not want to be included in the story.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
So Eric Orwell, that was in the middle there, the founder, big fan of Schmittler, by the way. He also believes that white people are being G-sided.
Schmittler, it would be the HH, not the Smith, not with a S. A Schmittler with a H. He's a big fan of Schmittler. Let's continue.
Are being taken out by the woke agenda. This community that they're building has a schoolhouse, has a community center. They do community dinners. They essentially live off the land. They have farm animals. They're doing everything that they can so that they do not have to step out of the borders of this community. And this is not shocking by any means in Arkansas, right? Because there are so many sundown towns in Arkansas, and racism just runs extremely rampant through the state. Now, they also offer a $1,000 incentive for the people within the community to have babies. They want to continue to grow this population.
Okay. Why is that important? Because 4547 has also in his big beautiful bill put forth a a don't a oh god, what is it? He put forth $1,000 for people who have children. For every child, legal child that is born in the United States, he is pledging to give that child $1,000. It will not be. They haven't decided when they will give the child. Will it be at the age of 18 when it becomes legal? Will it be at the age of 30 when they're probably allegedly thinking about buying a house, as if in many 30-year-olds can even purchase a house in this economy that is geared toward the rich, and the only people who are buying houses uh, I've done this story many times before, how all of these hedge funds are buying up all of the houses for sale and new homes. They are now at a 40% of purchasers of houses in the United States. So they don't know if to give it to the child when the child is ready to at retirement age. So where do you think this $1,000 for a child come from? It comes right down from your administration. Your administration says that the parents will also be able to donate up to $5,000 per year to this fund that 4547 is setting up for eligible children to be born. Let's continue.
And preserve the white culture. Now, while I was doing research, I came across a possible other whites only community that is being built in Springfield, Missouri. So now this is unfortunately apparently becoming a trend. And I absolutely cannot believe that I am reporting on this in 2025. Sky News is the one that got invited into the community to do the story. So if you go to their website or search this into Google, it will come up. The story is very well done. If you want to see the other interviews that were done, just know it's extremely disturbing to read.
Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. Hey, Barn Dog. Okay, let's get back to the Sky News story about this. The link is in my description box.
It's really important. I like feeding people, so I didn't want to put this off any longer than I already had.
Back in the day, when we first got the land here, there were only about 5 guys. I was living 40 minutes from here, and Jennifer was the first, family to be on the land full time. So we started community dinners back then, and it would be pretty relaxed because there weren't many people. But it is nice. It's slowly growing. So
They've come here to live for a variety of reasons, but their dedication to the mission is absolute.
My name's Nikki, N-I-K-I. I'm 32.
Cool.
I'm a lady.
My name's Allison, A-L-I-S-O-N. I'm 29.
Right.
And Caitlin, C-A-I-T-L-I-N. I'm 31.
I think people just have a large misunderstanding of what's happening here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the biggest misunderstanding?
Well,
that we hate everyone else. Yeah,
it's not about that.
Yeah,
by any means.
it's a loving movement.
I mean, on that aspect of it being loving, I suppose the counter argument would be it could be a very loving community if you're part of the community, but if you're black, or if you're Jewish, or if you're gay, you can't be part of that community.
They can have their own communities, and they already do, and I think that's great for them. If other people are allowed to do it, I don't really see why whites aren't allowed to do it. It doesn't. Doesn't make any sense.
But the goal is to have lots of these communities, and for it maybe not to be rural, for there to be cities on the same basis, right?
Yeah, that would be neat. I look forward to seeing how this movement grows over time.
There are other ways to increase numbers. Nikki, Caitlin, and Allison all met their partners at the community. And RTTL is explicit about this. It has an online fundraiser to give cash rewards to parents of newborns as a means to incentivize population growth. Just before we arrived, They had donated $1,000 to a family for having their 6th child.
Is that part?
I think I had my mic on mute. If you didn't hear what I was saying, if my mic was on mute, I apologize. What I was saying was, where are all they have their communities? Why can't we have ours? Where is there an exclusive Jewish only community where no one but a Jewish person? Where is the exclusive gay community? Where are these exclusive black communities where no one who's not black cannot and is not allowed to live? Where is it where a gay community where if you're not gay, you are not allowed to live? Nowhere but in her fucking rabbit ass feral mind. Let's continue.
Part of the mission as well to sort of have big families to make the community bigger. Is there a sort of pressure there?
I don't think so. I don't feel particularly myself. I don't feel any pressure to like have a big family. I think there's a kind of expectation here that you do want to, as part of helping grow this thing, that you're going to have kids.
There's not a lot to show around here. I basically just have the whole pasture area.
Peter is unattached.
Now, let's remember, this is the attorney who found the loophole for this community to get around the Fair Housing Act. So now we're going to get into the racism of it all. And he's going to be real shoddy and secretive and try to say the right things, but he can't because he's a straight up racist. Let's continue.
This is his homestead. He's been on a journey. He told me he used to be a liberal, a hippie even.
The knife is a tool. It has to be very sharp in order to cut properly.
He founded a commune in Ecuador, an intentional community based not on ethnicity, but veganism.
So this is your lot?
Yeah.
He's also immersed in internet culture, someone who delights in provoking reactions, a troll. On the group chat on the messaging app Telegram, he's posted the numbers 1488. The 14 refers to the 14 words, a white supremacist slogan. And H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So 88 means HH, which means Heil Hitler.
Okay, so you notice that he said that he likes to get a rise out of people on the internet. He said that he's a troll. Remember a couple of days when I showed that Mehdi Hassan interview where that dude laughed at, yes, I guess I'm a fascist. Remember what he said as well? He said he was a troll. These are not trolls. These are people who are actually saying what they believe. They want to get their viewpoints and messages out of them. And then when somebody turns around and questions them, they just say they're trolling. Much like some of the people who want messages and viewpoints out here, and everybody, oh, you can't pay attention to them. They're a troll. You can't pay attention. These people are saying what they believe and hiding behind, oh, I was just trolling. Let's see about this.
Put that in the Telegram, for instance. What does that mean when you place that in Telegram 1488?
Well, I use it as kind of like a funny comment throwback.
As part of that Nazi discussion, another frequent topic on the online chat is the Holocaust, usually minimized, sometimes even mocked.
But the Holocaust, stands as a unique crime in the history of
Well, that's your
humanity,
opinion.
really.
I think
He said it was a funny comment, a throwback. What's funny about it? Okay, let's continue.
Chat is the Holocaust, usually minimized, sometimes even mocked.
But the Holocaust, stands as a unique crime in the history of
Well, that's your
humanity,
opinion.
really.
I think the Holodomor was much worse than the Holocaust. That's my opinion. I mean, we're allowed to have opinions.
Yeah, well, we can say they're both bad. The Holocaust was bad.
But do you know anything about the Holodomor?
Yeah, in Ukraine,
Right.
the famine, I know a little bit about it, and I know it was awful too, and
Right,
it was sort of
right.
deliberate, but we can also agree the Holocaust is bad.
Well, we don't have to say that one was objectively worse than the other.
I'm not saying
but-
one. I'm not saying that. I'm saying was the Holocaust a bad
Right.
thing?
So basically all I'm saying is that, I don't really see it as concerning that people are talking about Hitler when it's acceptable, it's publicly socially acceptable in the United States for leftists to support Chairman Mao.
It's quite difficult to agree on even the very bare minimum here.
It's just interesting, sort of, when we're coming to talking about the Holocaust, it's always about something else. And, you know, I think most people would agree the Holocaust was a bad thing.
Right.
But you're not willing to agree with that.
What, do you want to talk about the whole, I mean, it
fine.
seems like an interesting subject, but
it is an interesting subject. I also think that was a bad thing, but I think the Holocaust was a bad thing too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, are you
But-
asking, are you asking
well,
me a
no,
question?
well, yeah, I'm asking you, do you think the Holocaust was bad?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Holocaust was bad.
RTTL is based on exclusion. But that
that long for him to say that the Holocaust and all that prancing around. Yeah, I think the Holocaust was bad, but he never was specific and about what he thought was bad about the Holocaust. He could go back to say, well, what I meant was that Germany was defeated and they didn't get the job done. So 14 words in the or also abbreviated 14 or 1488 is referenced two slogans originated by the American domestic terrorist David Eaton Lane, one of the 9 founding members of the defunct white supremacist terrorist organization, The Order, and are accompanied by Lane's 88 perceptions. These slogans have served as a rallying cry for militant white nationalists internationally. The primary slogan in the 14 words is, "We must secure the existence of our people and future for white children." Okay, so that is what the 14 in the 1488 stands for. Those 14 hateful words. So I just wanted to share that with you. Let's finish this up. If you learned something new here, please feel free to hit my goals, because these are my goals.
But that also means building community for those allowed inside. This isn't just for our camera's benefit to present a veneer of clean, healthy living. It's central to the project. Like many far-right movements before them, RTTL's mission is to show that by excluding others, they can live purer, more natural lives. As they put it on their website, to cultivate wholesomeness, beauty, health, and hope. Let's talk about hope. As much as RTTL might like, they do not exist in a separate world. Pocahontas is the nearest town to the settlement. And hope means something different for Pat Johnson.
I'm Tom.
I'm Pat.
Oh, you're Pat. Lovely to meet you, Pat. How are you?
We met her before we went up into the hills.
It was about 25 students that attended school here.
And the
on
whole
and off.
time, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's really tiny. And there you are,
Yes.
second from bottom. How old are you in that photo?
I don't know. I think probably about 12 or 13.
This is the school she attended in the 1950s, a school for black children only, because she was not allowed to be educated with white people. Unlike the members of Return to the Land, she is Arkansas born and bred. For the first 15 years of her life, she lived under segregation.
We could not go to school together. We couldn't eat together. We couldn't do everyday things together. Each day that you leave your home, you were under rejection.
And Pat had hoped those days had gone.
When you hear things like that, it causes you to be fearful. And you don't know who to trust.
When I explain what Return to the Land is doing, just half an hour's drive away, she's not so sure. And in her eyes, there is one main reason for that.
I feel like that's the change of, and I'm just going to say, I think it's the change of our presidency. That's what I'm going to say, because I feel like That's where the change is. It's allowing.
This is undeniable. This is undeniable. And I just want you to understand, these are not old people with these views, or who these are people who will have an effect on your children and your children's children. These are people who are going to get up off their asses and vote as well.
People to have the right to be open for hatred.
That may be a feeling, but it is also backed by the data. These are all the white supremacist incidents, demonstrations, leafleting, recruitment drives, meetups over the last 4 years in the US, tracked by ACLED, an organization that monitors violent conflict and protest. There has been a dramatic increase over that period. It has become a background thrum of nationalist activity. Patriot Front is the most active white nationalist organization in the US right now, according to ACLED. Its leader is Thomas Rousseau.
Foreign races have never successfully assimilated en masse into American culture and nationality.
And the group has tight links to return to the land. Eric and Thomas speak on each other's podcasts and have fast-track membership for both organizations.
Comfy? Feels good?
Yeah.
It's about time we spoke to Eric.
Less than 50% of children born today in the US are white. I'm white, my kids are white. There is something to your background that informs who you are, your sense of identity.
The replacement theory. They all of the other nationalities are replacing us. Let's throw all of the Hispanic people out of the country, even the ones who are legal. Let's hold all of the people who had. Let me make. Let's take all the. Hey Liz, how are you, Leonard? Let's take all of their statuses away from them that allowed them to be in the United States legally, and because they're taking over. And it's let's listen to his replacement. Why they need to breed more children.
And we don't want that.
They went from breeding slaves, and now they're having to breed themselves.
Sense of identity being taken away from us involuntarily. So we're taking control of that situation and creating an environment where my kids can celebrate their identity and not have it, threatened from outside, I guess.
No, we don't know. We don't know. How is your child's identity threatened from the outside when your child is born into privilege in this country? That you don't want to, you don't want to talk about that. What is the threat from outside? That your white child, where your white daughter may come home with a black child, like that racist Huck Hogan said. That's why I didn't mention anything about that fucking racist passing. That he didn't. He was mad because his white daughter was dating a black man, and he shout out, I don't want my. If she's gonna come home with an N word, she need to come home with a rich basketball player. Is that the threat from outside? Is that the threat from outside? And then after he said that, you notice he was at every Republican convention ripping off his shirt and all of this bullshit. See, racism is rewarded in this country, in this era. I just want you guys to know that.
Is that threatening you? Why is that an issue that you've had to address? There will always be white people.
Well, I'm feeling a little nervous now in the interview.
You're nervous now because you can't speak the way you speak among your white racist friends. Tell it like you're talking to that other guy who you're sitting on his podcast, spewing your racist ideas about. How come you're nervous now?
We are forced to accept people into our neighborhoods, into our businesses, and into our lives who won't share our background, who won't share many of our cultural priors, even moral priors. We don't have a rule stating, if you have X amount of non-European ancestry, you're definitely out. In many cases, yeah, that would disqualify someone.
Were I to apply to the PMA and my views were different, I'd probably be allowed in. Do you think that's likely? I know it's a case-by-case basis, but just off the top of your head.
Yeah, possibly we would accept you in the PMA.
I don't understand white American culture, but you'd rather have me in that case. I just wonder, though, whether some people watching this, having heard all this intellectualizing, this rhetoric, would say, fine, but actually at heart, this is just, it is just prejudice, it is just bigotry, it is just lowest common denominator racism dressed up in these arguments.
That's it.
And
That's
I would
what
just
it is.
question the moral frame. Why is it wrong to identify with your own people, want an integrated culture where you can be yourself?
Just to boil it down to what for you is the definition of racism?
When I was a kid, I suppose I interpreted racism to be judging someone solely on the basis of their race. And is that a good or bad thing? I think this basic moral consensus treats it as automatically a bad thing without a lot of...
Oh, okay. So when you were a kid, it meant something different than what it means to you as an adult in your 30s. Let's understand that this dude is talking about less than 30 years ago. Racism meant something different because it was put upon others. And now that he's in his 30 and he's feeling vulnerable, there's not a lot of us now that you are possibly looking at yourself in your mind being a minority. Now racism is something that you feel is put upon you and you must protect yourself from. Are you serious? Racism is always the same thing. And this reverse racism and all of this bullshit, these motherfuckers are feeling vulnerable and they are lashing out with their overt racism. Very Carey says something very important. We cannot continue to walk around here like we don't know these things. Maybe some of us don't know these things, but these are the people who are going to be voting. I did a story about the racists who wanted to take woke out of the Oklahoma schools and all of the inappropriate things and have the K through 12 public education system play him praying to 45, 47 every month and actually teaching the Bible in public schools who was always talking about taking books out of the schools that were inappropriate and because they uplift pornography, only to him to be sitting in a meeting with parents and his TV was hooked up to his computer, and lo and behold, there were two naked women on there, and it caused an uproar. He's being investigated. He's blamed it on his political rivals. This is his computer. His computer. This is what was playing on his screen, and the anti-pornography head of education in Oklahoma, who purchased 547 Bibles, who said that a Bible must be in every classroom and it must be taught out of because the ways of the Bible is the I forgot what he said. I'll pull it up. You go to my video, my last video. I let you hear all the shit that he was brewing, and you come to find out, he took woke out of. He's taking DEI. This he would suspend teachers and have their teaching permits invalidated and all of this type of stuff if they didn't give him the right answers. This coming school year, he actually has a test to make sure that all the teachers answer the right answers. And what are the questions on the test? The questions are questions that align with 45, 47 policy agenda. He wants to make sure he's not getting students from other states that are too woke and are indoctrinated in far left propaganda. Let me tell you something. Do you know, come to find out, those two naked women that were on his screen, one of the women was a black woman. On this, these naked women doing whatever these naked women were doing to each other, one of the women was a black woman. See, they talk all this talk and try to keep their fucking a perverted mind. Their minds are perverted. So they want to indoctrinate your children into religious. And come to find out also, this superintendent, while taking his full salary, was on the payroll of a private far right charter school. And he went to Las Vegas. It was in Las Vegas. He went to Arizona, trying to sell this far right charter school, which he is a part of, which will most definitely indoctrinate the students that go to this school in far right propaganda teachings. But he is talking all of this shit about the left and the woke, and they're exposing your children to this and books and all of this. Okay, he's being investigated. I don't know how I got that far. Watch my last video. I talked about him in that. Let's continue.
Reflection.
This is my last day here. And
Thank
before
you,
I go, I
Liz.
want to speak to John. Not a leader like Eric or Pete or Scott, but an acolyte, a young one and newly arrived. He's only been here a month.
So I'm trying to knock off some of this more good topsoil, give it some more.
We'd seen him when we first came up. He guided us in on his bicycle.
It's just you have a community where you feel like you belong here. You have people you can talk to, and I can't explain it. It's too beautiful. It's nice.
He's a drifter. He has no education. He has no real job. He's a drifter. He goes from, people would call him a bum. So he found himself at home amongst these people. He worked for his space to live. This is who this is.
He'd been working on Scott's new house over the weekend. In return for his labor, he gets cheap rent. John dropped out of college, and he's worked jobs all over the United States. He's 26, younger than the leaders who are all in their 30s. If they are the recruiters, he is the perfect recruit. And for John, the primary motivation was financial.
To me, it's economical. It's an economic decision, right? And everything else just kind of falls in line. Yeah. But the main thing to me is cheap land. Everything else is a bonus.
You've got 2 levels here.
Yep. Got a loft up top, and this is the main area.
It's a living area down here. So it's quite comfy, right?
It is quite comfy. As for excluding people, I don't see it that way. We're trying to embrace our culture and our heritage. It's been denigrated, if you ask me. We've turned into a melting pot of a country for a long time.
This country was built to be a melting pot. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Now.
There is one last thing.
Oh, the concert. Let's see the entertainment that is there at this commune, as I will call it.
Before I go, a concert put on in honor of our visit.
This first piece that Peter and I are performing, it's called The Virginia Colonies by Fred Cooper.
The English governor returned to take his place.
Eric himself takes the stage.
This is a Baroque flute, also known as the German flute or the penny whistle. It was a very popular instrument in colonial America.
It's not easy to look.
The German the German flute, singing these colloquial songs of the 1500s and all of this bullshit. Okay, let's hear a little of him getting down on this.
Tough with a flute,
What is it?
even if it's German. But the audience is rapt.
Can you imagine having to live there? Let me see if there's any closing words. There are a couple of closing words.
Would America be better as a white nation state?
Better in what sense?
Would you prefer, completely blank slate, America is just an ethnically white country?
I would probably feel more comfortable there because I'm white, and that's the way that this country was when my ancestors came here.
You also talk about...
Okay, this country was white when his ancestors came here. No, this country was Native American when your ancestors came here. And much like your ancestors, you were they were unable to cope with people who were not like them. So what did they do? They killed them all. That's what they did. Most all of them.
Hitler in your videos a couple of times when you've talked about people are waiting around for a new Hitler to come. And you said he's not going to show up. You have to do the work for that Hitler to arrive.
Hitler is a very controversial historical figure. I think the mainstream view is one-sided. It's informed by World War II propaganda, but also the contrary position that Hitler did nothing wrong that many people online say, that's also a one-sided view. I think all historical figures are complex, multidimensional, but when I say you're gonna have to wait for that new Hitler to arise, I'm not saying you're gonna have to wait for a new person to start a new Holocaust. I'm saying you're gonna have to wait for a charismatic leader who's going to advocate for your interests, because that's how a lot of people see Hitler. I'm addressing how they think of Hitler, not my own view.
There are other PMAs, other bits of land that are going ahead.
Yeah, there are two other groups, actually three, organizing. One in Appalachia, one in the Pacific Northwest, and then another one here in Arkansas.
So this is the growing movement.
Right now it's growing very quickly. Yeah, we have applicants every week. I would like to see more communities so that people in all parts of the U.S.
Okay, and there is also one in where did I say? Not Memphis. In Missouri that is popping up. Thank you for the super sticker, Liz. Hey, Mixology. Hey, Ronnie Hugh. He must be the meth cook. Exactly. Throw that fucking flute in the pot while he cooking it. This is crazy work. That is a lie. Exactly. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna show you. I guess ignorance has always been bliss. I'm gonna show you a quick news report. What they are reporting. I don't know if you guys have heard about this community. I'm gonna show you a news report about this, and we're gonna move on.
Group of white supremacists has founded a 160-acre settlement in the Ozark Hills for white people only, and it's called Return to the Land. It was set up in 2023 by two men named Eric Orwell and Peter Cesare, and it explicitly bans Jewish people, LGBTQ individuals, and anyone who isn't a white Christian of European descent. In this case, it turns out Jews are not considered white after all. Now, this white-only town is vetting members through interviews and ancestry screening, and only those who can prove European roots are allowed in. Right now, about 40 people live there full-time, but hundreds more around the world have already paid for membership. And once accepted, members can buy land, but instead of traditional deeds, they're sold LLC shares tied to private plots. The group claims that this loophole lets them bypass civil rights housing laws. Well, joining us now is Gerard Fileti. He's a senior counsel at the Lawfare Project. So Can a community like this legally use LLC shares in a private members association to avoid civil rights housing laws? Are they going to be able to get away with this in modern America?
It's very unlikely that they will be able to get away with this in modern America, precisely because this runs afoul of anti-discrimination laws, federal anti-discrimination laws, and potentially state ones as well. Now, you can have a private organization that does discriminate. As unsavory as and disgusting as that may be, in America, you can associate with people whom you choose. But when you're holding yourself out to the public, when you're opening yourself up for a membership, and especially when you are constructing or selling housing, then you have to comply by anti-discrimination laws. And that means that you can't limit who you sell to, even if they're trying to structure this in a clever manner.
Okay, I wanted to share that with you. So let's move on. We know that this weekend there was a lot. If you have been following me, I have been following this Gaza story. I have been telling you all the atrocities and all of the ethnic cleansing up and into genocide that's going on in Gaza. Now, they now have settlers who have taken over some of the land in the West Bank, and these settlers. Oh my God! One of the women, I cannot play any of his video, or I'm going to have to erase it. Pierce Morgan had a Jewish settler on, and he was asking her the simplest of questions, and she was sitting up there with a smirk on her face. I remember a lot of people used to go on Pierce Morgan's show, and he would say that the Jewish have the right to defend themselves. The Jewish have a right to defend themselves. Well, what are they supposed to do? They were attacked. But then slowly but surely, he started to say, you know what? I cannot say that all of this is because of the attack. I cannot say that it is necessary for them to keep bombarding these people. And finally, he has called out for a stop because of all of the people who have been unalived in this alleged war. Let's be clear. We know that 45-47 came out and said that they are going to get rid of all of the Palestinians because that is prime property, and they're going to rebuild it, and they are going to let everybody come in and enjoy. And then when they asked him about the Palestinians, he said, "There's nothing to come back to." What would they come back to? You were talking about letting everybody else come back to a rebuilt Palestine and enjoy it. But when asked about the Palestinians coming back, it's all demolished. There's nothing there. Make that make sense. Make it make sense that they are not allowing UNICEF and the other aid groups to come in and with their trucks to feed these people who are starving in Palestine, and that the United States and Israel haphazardly slapped together a alleged group that was going to go in and feed the Palestinians. And let's not pretend like you did not hear reporting here in other places, maybe not so much in your mainstream media before this weekend, how these aid trucks that were coming in were being shot upon, and all of these excuses from the IMF. These were just warning shots, or they were we had to shoot because of this, that, and the other. Let's not pretend that I have not played videos of doctors saying, I hope my mic is on. Thank God. I hope. No, we don't want these people in our community. You saw on here the many reports that I showed you what was going on in Gaza. We remember they shot up. They found I think it was 11 ambulances buried buried in the sand with the medical staff in tow, buried as well. And then they said that they didn't know who that they were ambulances because they didn't have their lights on. Only to unearth a body with a cell phone, and they played the video on the cell phone where you could clearly see it was an ambulance because it had its emergency light displayed, and then you hear the shooting at this person who was found dead, shot in the head. All these lies that have now it was going to be investigated after the truth came out. You haven't heard anything else about any truth coming out about all of these people who are starving. You didn't hear a peep from the. I didn't hear a peep from this for-profit media when he put a. Now, let's be clear. Let's be clear. They were under a ceasefire. Israel broke the ceasefire. Now you have, and 45, 47 didn't do or say anything but continue to give him money for bomb to continue to bomb. But now all of a sudden, when this travesty is just too much to bear, 28 countries have come out against what Israel is doing in the Gaza Strip. France and Britain has said what is the time frame? I think they gave them 3 days. If they didn't stop what they were doing in Gaza, that I think they still are going to do it. They are going to declare if they don't, what is it? Come to an agreement or something. They're going to declare Palestine its own state. And Benjamin Netanyahu is pissed about it. That France and Britain is saying that they are going to declare Palestine its own state. Let's not pretend we didn't know any of this. Let's not pretend I didn't show you the video of the doctor who is in blank. Now, they starved them for 3 months, not letting any aid, food, water, medical supplies, fuel, anything get in for 3 months. And then they put together this America and Israel people who were supposed to be feeding them, bringing in around 7 trucks a day when they need something like 700 trucks to feed these people. Okay, because they blocked off all other food aid to Israel. So now this weekend, it became unattainable. The weight of this whole situation got a little too much to bear. Now, we have to understand. We have to understand that. This is who is the problem. This is the problem. These are Democratic and Republican senators sitting up here on Netanyahu's last visit, sitting up here for a photo op instead of holding his hands to the fire about all of the war crimes that are being alleged over there. Even Israel itself, even Israel itself came out saying this is what they came out. This is a Israeli department. Genocide always occurs within the context. There are conditions that enable it, triggers events, and a guiding ideology. The current onslaught on the Palestinian people, including the Gaza Strip, must be understood in the context of more than 70 years in which Israel has imposed a violent, discriminatory regime on the Palestinian, taking its most extreme forms against those living in the Gaza Strip. Since the State of Israel was established, the apartheid and occupation regime has institutionalized and systematically employed mechanism of violent control, demographic engineering, discrimination, and fragmentation of the Palestinian collective. These foundations laid by the regime are what made it possible to launch a genocidal attack on the Palestinians immediately after the Hamas led attack on October 7th. The assault on Palestinians in Gaza cannot be, I don't know what that is. I think it separated from the escalating violence being inflicted at the varying levels in different forms on Palestinian living under Israel rule in the West Bank and within Israel. The violence and the destruction in these areas is intensified over time with no effective domestic or international mechanism acting to halt them. We warn of a clear and present danger that the genocide will not remain confined to the Gaza Strip, and that the actions and the underlying mistrust driving it may extend to other areas as well. I'm gonna tell you why he said that. Because now Netanyahu is over there bombing Syria as well. Okay, let's continue. The recognition that the Israeli regime is committing genocide in the Gaza Strip and the deep concern that it may expand to other areas where Palestinians live under Israeli rule demand urgent and unequivocal action from both Israel's society and the international community, and use of every means available under international law to stop Israel genocide against the Palestinian people. Now, this is not some Hamas loving group. This is a actual Israeli humanitarian. What are they? These are actually Israelis who are monitoring the situation that is going on in Gaza. So let me share a couple of videos with you. Now, I showed you the doctors who said that it seems like I showed you a video of these people who are feeding the Gazans. If you remember last week, and they sound like some cowboys, some talking about, yeehaw, I think you got one. Yeehaw. They are actually shooting at these starving people who are coming for food, and they are shooting at them as if it is a game, and congratulating themselves. These are the people, these are Southern voices. These are the people who contractors who have been bought in to allegedly feed the people. There are so many whistleblowers from the IDF and from the U.S. contractors who were in there to allegedly feed the people, and were taking pot shots at these people who were starving, who were taking a chance because they were so fucking hungry after being starved for 3 months that they are taking a chance, and people are playing games with their lives. Let's not pretend like we didn't hear the doctor say that. I know that this is something nefarious, because you can tell every day the kids that come in here, they have distinct wounds, which let you know that there is a new game at play. One day they're shot in the head, the next day we get a whole lot of them shot in the chest, and then the next day they're shot in the genitals, like they're saying, hey, this is where you're going to get your points from today. This is the area to shoot at today. Okay, so if you don't believe all of these people who are these people are these aid workers, these doctors that are embedded with Gaza, they have been starving as well. And what does Benjamin Netanyahu said? There's no starving in Gaza. And what did 4547 say? We spent $600 million over there this weekend. He said that we sent $600 million over there, and nobody thanked us. And you'd like to get a thank you. That's what he said. Okay. Then it got unattainable the next day. And then the United Arab Emirates dropped some heavy ass pallets, which could have killed the people. They are dropping pallets of food down to make it a good show. So hey, look, we're doing something. We dropped 2 pallets of food for 2 million people. A pallet is it's usually 5 foot wide by 7 foot long, to feed 2 million people. And if it falls on them, oh well, shit, we dropped it. You know, get the shit off the top of the pallet that's sitting on human beings. Okay, so and the people who were riding along on these flights to drop for these food drops, they were told that under no circumstances were they allowed to film outside of the windows because Netanyahu, along with not allowing any real media in to document what's really going on in Palestine, he doesn't even want them to document what it looks like from the sky. So if you don't believe the people who are telling you this, if you don't believe all the videos that I have been talking about, I think that it is important. Why do I think this is important? Because this is a genocide going on in our era that people are ignoring. And why do I think this is important? We have seen people in the United States being arrested for protesting this which they said was not happening. Now they can no longer act as if this is not happening. This is why I stay on this story, because this was such an obvious story, and our American politicians play a big part, from Biden to Harris to a whole lot of Democrats and a whole lot of Republicans. This is why I pay attention to this. And because you see the people who are coming up to vote, who feel emboldened under this presidency, who shows that he has no respect for people who are not white people. Why do you think this is important? Do you think that I talk about this alligator Alcatraz, how they are just rounding up people off the street? And you act like it can't happen to you. Are we acting like we are some refined people of that cannot be approached with the same outcome? This is why I cover the stories that I cover, because I know how little respect that they have for a Black life. Are we acting like they were respecting Black life even prior to this administration? Are we acting like the people in office in power positions over Black lives, respected Black lives prior to this administration? Y'all better pay attention to what's going on. So now I want to share. I'm done with my diatribe. I want to share this with you. If you don't believe the words of the people who are on the ground, maybe you can believe the words of the people who are actually filming themselves doing what they're doing, unabashed to these Palestinians. Genocide in Gaza through the eyes of Israeli soldiers. Let's check this out.
There has been a remarkable number of videos posted by Israeli soldiers on social media depicting themselves pillaging property mocking the death and destruction that they are causing, and most egregiously torturing, humiliating, and mocking detained Palestinian prisoners.
The images of mass arrests, of torture of Palestinians, of numbering their bodies, which is reminiscent of images all of us have seen from Guantanamo and Abu Ghraib. These images are testament to what Palestinians have long been saying, which is that this settler colonial regime is utterly violent. They show the nature through which this genocide is unfolding in the Gaza Strip. They also show the extreme brutality and torture, violence, utter disregard.
What I said is, my mic was off. We have also seen these same images coming from Hispanics who have been deported to El Salvador, and this is under the rule of our current administration. Don't let it be lost on you. Let's continue and understand who is paying and financing what's going on. The American citizens are. Let's continue.
Human life, transforming these violent conducts into a spectacle to be viewed and watched on social media posts.
They lack specific intelligence about who actually might be Hamas. And because they lack intelligence, they therefore are rounding up everyone in order to hope to extract information through interrogation. The fact that they've been stripped to their underwear is, a manifestation of cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment, which is also illegal in addition to torture. The fact that they're photographing these things, it's like trophy shots. What this depicts, I think, very vividly is dehumanization and torture. The idea that somebody can be just like their body is just being attacked, in their most.
And let's not forget that our soldiers are not against doing this themselves. Let's remember Abu Ghraib. What is it? Was it Guantanamo Bay? Let's not forget Guantanamo Bay. The things that they that happened in Guantanamo Bay. Remember all of the pictures and the selfies they were taking as they were brutalizing those people. You have to understand that this same military and who is over the military now, someone who was assigned to Guantanamo Bay, Hegseth, he is actually over the military, and the military has free reign under an executive order to come into our states. That's why this is important. See, all of this stuff has been unleashed and released to happen very quickly. Very quickly. They just have to blow the whistle. Let's continue.
Most vulnerable position. His hands are bound behind his back. He's lying face down, soldiers stepping on his face. In a sense, it epitomizes torture in general, purposefully harming someone who's in custody. That custodial relationship is a particularly vulnerable one where, the custodians have all the power and the prisoner, who is in this case, not only on the ground and tied up, but completely powerless.
The images are showing us and telling us how central imprisonment or carceral practices are to this settler colonial regime. The torture, humiliation, and degrading conduct against Palestinians is not simply restricted to the Gaza Strip. There are also images and videos that have been circulating from the West Bank. Since October 7th, over 7,000 Palestinians have been detained, which is a number unheard of over the past decade.
Israeli
The
They have disappeared people. Where do you hear about this happening now? You hear this talking about them disappearing people in the United States. Is that We understand J.D. Vance, financier, Peter Thiel, Palantir has defense contracts for Palantir in Israel and in the United States. Both of these people are disappearing people who they choose to disappear. Okay. I do you. I'm just saying. I am just saying.
Israeli soldiers have quite remarkably taken to converting their massive, really unprecedented destruction of Palestinian homes, hospitals, mosques, universities, churches, schools, of Palestinian homes, hospitals, mosques,
Hold on.
universities.
I think I messed up something. Maybe not. Hold on. I hope I didn't mess that up.
These churches, schools, of Palestinian.
Yes, I messed it up. I'm gonna have to. I'm going to have to put that back up. In the meantime, I will play a different video that I wanted you. The link is in my description box. I'm gonna move on because I messed up the playing of that video. I also want you guys to see this. What's really going on and what has been ignored by a lot of the. You may not know this. I'm just trying to show you some things that you may not be familiar with. Okay. This is the name of this is Israeli human rights group. Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. This is a Israeli human rights group. Is saying that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The link is in my description box.
Gaza began, two Israeli human rights organizations. In a first since Israel's war on Gaza began, two Israeli human rights organizations have used the word genocide to describe the devastation across the Strip. They're hoping to influence other international organizations to do the same. B'Tselem's report that it calls Our Genocide argues that the Israeli policy towards Palestinians in Gaza has shifted from repression and control to destruction and annihilation.
The report we are publishing today is one we never imagined we would have to write. But in recent months, we have been witnessing a reality that has left us no choice but to acknowledge the truth. Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip.
The report says that hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have sustained severe bodily and mental harm, with medical care remaining critically inadequate. It argues that the extensive casualties in Gaza are a result of deliberate policies, including indiscriminate bombing of populated areas, using technology to generate targets, ordering shoot-to-kill policies against Palestinians, among them children.
Hold on. I apologize. 1 second. Dovey Milton, there is no piece for you to come to in my chat. Once you sit your ass up on a link on a live and talk about taking me to court when the only thing that I have done was to make sure that you were safe, you want to sit up under a bitch who has you talking about taking me to court for absolutely no reason. Don't ever come to my chat. I have no peace for you. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I apologize.
It says Israel is gradually extending its genocidal practices to areas where Palestinians live under its control and occupation. In the occupied West Bank, the report suggests that a more lethal open fire policy and so-called kill zones have been imported from Gaza to the occupied West Bank, or what the report calls as Gazification.
The regime is the same regime, the army is the same army, and there is no mechanism.
Hey, Very Carey, I hit Liz by mistake. Do you have the capacity to bring Liz back? Liz, hold on. Let me get Liz back. I did not want to delete Liz. Can you get Liz Livos back, Very Carey? Let me see. I see her. Let me see. Okay, thank you, Very Carey. Okay, let's continue.
Mechanism, either local or international, to offer protection to Palestinians.
The death toll in Gaza is nearly 60,000. These figures do not include deaths from diseases or malnutrition, described as indirect, but all a direct result of Israel's destruction of living conditions and blocking food and essential supplies from entering Gaza. A collapsed water system and starvation of 2.2 million Palestinians as a weapon of war. Physicians for Human Rights report investigated the health sector. It concludes that the destruction of Gaza's healthcare system is deliberate, calculated, and systematic. Following the pattern, scale, and nature of Israeli attacks, the reports concluded that there's a deliberate policy of making Gaza uninhabitable. In the occupied West Bank, Israel directly controls nearly every aspect of Palestinian life. B'Tselem's report says this control further intensifies oppression and dispossession. Both reports from the Israeli rights organizations include witness testimonies and evidence, and they conclude what's happening in Gaza is a genocide, and the world needs to stop it. Nida Ibrahim, Al Jazeera.
Let's hear now from Itamar Mann, who's a professor of international law at the University of...
Okay, the link is in my description box. I just wanted you to see a portion of this video. And let's see what 4547 had to say. The many of the changing narratives of what he had to say about what was going on in Israel. Right here. Let me see. Here we go. Let's start with this one. This is when the Prime Minister of London first came, and this is what he had to say when asked about what was going on in Israel.
Sir Keir Starmer was the one piping in over the president's remarks. First on free speech.
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but we've had free speech for a very, very long time here. So.
And then on the crisis in Gaza.
Those children look very hungry, but we're giving a lot of money and a lot of food, and other nations are now stepping up. I know that this nation is right.
It's
here.
a humanitarian crisis.
Right.
It's an absolute catastrophe.
Do you think
nobody wants to see that, and I think people in Britain are revolted at seeing what they're seeing on their screens. So we've got to get to that ceasefire, and thank you, Mr. President, for leading.
But with the US walking away from ceasefire talks last week, and with the situation in Gaza worsening, the question is whether the Prime Minister can use his relationship with Trump to put pressure on Israel, perhaps appealing to the president's pride at just how many wars he can put to an end.
Stop 6 wars in the last. I'm averaging about a war a month. But the last 3 were very close together.
But the conflict in the Middle East continues, as does the one in Ukraine. Wars the president has promised to end. Trump may not be souring on Israel's leader yet, but he is on Vladimir Putin, saying his 50-day deadline for a ceasefire was being dramatically reduced.
Yeah, I'd say 10 to 12 days. I'll announce it probably tonight or tomorrow. But there's no reason to wait. If you know what the answer is going to be, why wait? And it would be sanctions and maybe tariffs.
Mr. President, the president.
Tariffs are Trump's big bargaining chips. It's what brought the euro.
Okay, hold on. I want to get to these questions.
Job, the mayor of London, but the nasty person. I think he's done. I think he's a friend of mine, right? No, I think he's done a terrible job.
If this meeting was mainly about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, what will Starmer be able to show for his time? Time spent in Turnberry and then also at the president's other golf resort here in Aberdeenshire. These protesters on the outskirts of the course are opposed to the war and this visit and do not have faith in either leader.
Donald Trump came out and said, check me, I've stopped another war, I'm getting a Nobel Peace Prize. Netanyahu put him up for it. What a nonsense. It's just like watching a really, really poor pantomime.
Keir Starmer is, lack of a better word, a coward. He is not doing enough to help with the people in Gaza.
This beautiful, calm coastline of eastern Scotland, now dotted with the signs that the world's most powerful man is in residence. A man who many are hoping will start talking as tough on the Middle East as he does about the wind farms that he believes blight his golf course.
In Moodley reporting, well, Sir Keir Starmer says he and President Trump agreed at
Hold on. Here we go.
their meeting that humanitarian aid must be allowed into Gaza at scale and pace. Another 14 people starved to death there in the last day, according to Gaza's health ministry, taking the overall number of malnutrition-related deaths to 63 this month. Since dawn, many more Palestinians have been killed while seeking aid or in Israeli airstrikes. Jonathan Rugman reports.
They went in search of food. Instead, they came under fire. At least 7 reportedly killed this morning, crossing through Israeli military lines to stave off starvation. Adding to more than 1,000, the UN says have been killed near Israeli-backed distribution centers since Israel blocked the UN's own aid.
They shot the young men. They killed them because they were hungry. Let the aid through with dignity.
To avoid such scenarios, more food was dropped by parachute today by Jordanian and Emirati planes with Israeli consent. One UN aid agency called it an inefficient and expensive distraction. And it's a mark not just of the desperation on the ground, but of the world's desperation to help.
The aid being dropped is not enough for the starvation of the Palestinian people. There are millions of people who can't get food for their children.
Of far more impact are the dozens of trucks crossing into Gaza from Egypt after Israel eased its blockade, all the while claiming that there was no blockade. Any idea that this is a U-turn in government policy is officially denied. Any admission of starvation is officially denied as well.
Israel is presented as though we are applying a campaign of starvation in Gaza. What a bold-faced lie. There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza. We enable humanitarian aid throughout the duration of the war to enter Gaza. Otherwise, there would be no Gazans.
Okay, so he's standing up there boldly lying. He was supposed to been in a court. You know, the UN has him up on war crimes, and he called in and said he had a bellyache, that he had eaten some food and it gave him a bellyache, so he couldn't show up for his already crimes in the United Nations, and but he was able to eat. And what he ate gave him a bellyache. So his trial, they probably won't be back in court on his war. I think it is the war war crime trial until sometime in September. But he's able to eat and lie lie pretty good.
In Scotland this afternoon, Donald Trump refrained from public criticism of Israel's leader, though he said he had told him to fight the war differently, and he admitted that there is starvation.
Some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And you can't fake that. So we're going to be even more involved.
And without giving details, he suggested that America would ensure that food distribution centers would somehow be made safe.
We're going to set up food centers and where the people can walk in and no boundaries.
We're going to set up food centers where people can walk in. You already have set up a food distribution with the Israelis, so you're not going to talk about that. But we're supposed to believe that you're going to set up food centers, okay, where people can just walk in, stroll on in.
Fences, and they can't. They see the food from 30 you would say yards away, and they see the food. It's all there, but nobody's at it because they have fences set up that nobody can even get it. It's crazy what's going on over there.
So if they see the food and nobody can get to it, and how is it that Netanyahu is saying that they're not being starved? This is such a bullshit that's coming out of his mouth. Let me see. Let's go.
But Gaza's hunger has reached a tipping point, which only a large and immediate aid operation can reverse. The UN claims over 60 have died from malnutrition this month, compared with 11 in the first half of this year. Heba Al-Gamari does the round of soup kitchens at 6:30 every morning. But what her son really wants is one piece of bread.
Our children are dying from hunger, and psychologically we have no more energy to stand at the soup kitchens and get food. We want everything to open and this whole situation to end.
Israel's new daily pauses in the fighting are confined to 3 areas housing refugees. Though overnight at least 24 people were killed in airstrikes, including one here outside Khan Yunis, where refugee tents were destroyed. Eyewitnesses said women and children were among the dead. And in a nearby hospital, a newborn baby girl, delivered by caesarean section, despite her mother dying in that airstrike. Soad died herself just a few hours after this video of her was taken.
Jonathan Rugman reporting there.
Okay, that is in my description box. I just wanted to give you I just wanted to give you a little of that. Let me show some more of what is going on. Maybe not that one. What do you guys think about, or do you even think about what's going on? Hey, Regina M, thank you for being here. Horrific. No, that is one of the milder videos. Now, we heard what 4547 said about food aid and all of the blustering he said, but no one was to blame. But after he's blaming this. He said that the Hamas needs to make a deal, and it doesn't seem like they want to get this over with. So on his return trip, he did a little press spree, and I want you to hear what he's saying after all of that good stuff that he said in front of the British Prime Minister. He gets off his plane and he says this.
They pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very.
They pulled out of the deal, and it seems like they doesn't want a deal. It seems like they want to die. It seems like they are choosing to be starved. That's what it seems like. We're going to get to this deal that they allegedly pulled out. I have some recording.
And it got to be to a point where you're gonna have to finish the job. They really they asked for things. Don't forget, we got a lot of hostages out. So now we're down to the final hostages, and they know what happens after you get the final hostages. And basically, because of that, they really didn't want to make a deal. I saw that. So they.
Hold on. I don't know why the volume. Okay, hold on. I screwed up the volume. I am trying to. What is up with the volume? I apologize. Let me reset this. Here we go.
They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad. And it got to be to a point where you're gonna have to finish the job. They really they asked for things. Don't forget, we got a lot of hostages out. So now we're down to the final hostages, and they know what happens after you get the final hostages. And basically, because of that, they really didn't want to make a deal. I saw that. So they pulled out, and they're going to have to fight, and they're going to have to clean it up. You're going to have to get rid of it. Yeah, Gaza.
They're going to have to fight and they're going to have to clean it up. Hamas does not want to make a deal. They're down to their last few hostages, and they know what happens when all of the hostages are free. Well, if all of the hostages are free, shouldn't they? Isn't the war over? Isn't that what they say that they want? And now 45-47 is saying release all the hostages. That's what they want. They just want their families. And now they're down to the last hostages. I knew that they weren't going to give them up, because after the hostage is gone, they know what's going to happen. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Exactly what is going to happen? That's when you're gonna. That's when you guys gonna kill them all. Is that what you're saying is going to happen? Or they need to do something, and they just need to get it over with. This is what 45-47. They just need to get it over with. What is it over with? They're not going to give you these houses. They just need to go on and do something and get it over with. Let's hear him say this.
They pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad. And it got to be to a point where you're gonna have to finish the job. They really they asked for things. Don't forget, we got a lot of hostages out. So now we're down to the final hostages, and they know what happens after you get the final hostages. And basically, because of that, they really didn't want to make a deal. I saw that. So they pulled out, and they're going to have to fight, and they're going to have to clean it up. You're going to have to get rid of it. Yeah, Gaza.
Okay, you heard this. You heard this. So for people to try to pretend like there is no genocide plan, no ethnic cleansing plan for these people, spare me the bullshit. They're saying it out loud. Hold on. While trying to be cute, as if, oh no, that's not what we mean. That's not what we mean. You heard it yourself. The link is in my description box. I think they want to die. Wow, shaking my head. Yes, he said that out of his own mouth. And when they said that they would stop the war once they got all the hostages. But you heard him say out of his own mouth, they don't want to give back all of the hostages because they know what's going to happen when they do. As if they know they are going to wipe him out. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is the mission, is to wipe them out. Let's keep it a buck. Let me see. I think I'll play this one for you guys. Kyle Kalinske. He is very good. Let's listen to one of his. Let's listen to some of his reporting on this Gaza situation. He's talking about that clip I just played for you. Okay. Go over and check out what is the name of his show? Secular Talk. This link is in my description box.
Donald Trump has hit a new low. And this time, it's specifically about the issue of the genocide in Palestine. The stuff that we're learning and the stuff that he's saying is beyond inexcusable. It's absolutely grotesque. It's absolutely horrendous. It's absolutely bone-chilling how callous somebody could be to the immense and extreme suffering of others, brought about, by the way, by his own actions, continuing to send the money and the weapons as Israel starves over 1 million people. Let me walk you through this here. So first of all, we have this article that came out from Axios and this guy, Barak Ravid. And here's some of the details from that article. So he said the following. Over the past 6 months, Trump has given Netanyahu an almost free hand to do whatever he wants in Gaza, from military operations to hostage negotiations to the distribution of humanitarian aid. While White House officials say Trump is genuinely disturbed by the killing of Palestinians and wants the war to end, he has applied virtually no pressure to Netanyahu to end it in the last few months, according to Israeli officials. Quote, in most calls and meetings, Trump told Bibi, quote, do what you have to do in Gaza. In some cases, he even encouraged Netanyahu to go harder on Hamas, one Israeli official told Axios. So let's get this crystal clear. This is Donald Trump saying, you're doing a genocide? Okay, go right ahead. Speed it up a little bit. Do that for me. How many times did we see these stories from Axios, from Barak Ravid? Oh, Biden is really pissed off at Netanyahu behind the scenes. Oh, they're hitting a breaking point. Oh, they might fight and disagree. And then nothing would ever happen, and the policy would continue as is, where the U.S. would send more money, send more weapons, and Netanyahu would continue to commit war crime after war crime. Well, now...
Or to allow food into Gaza.
Say it. But I'm just getting started here. So this is what we learned from behind the scenes, right? What's he saying in front of the scenes? Okay, well, when Trump was in Scotland, he was asked a question about Gaza, and here's what he says.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Say it.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
What did she say? Should Israel be doing more to allow food in Gaza? Well, we gave $60 million.
Now, he didn't hear her. Now we gave. Now, let's hear if he answered the question about should Israel be giving more. Now, this is the clip that I wanted to show you where he says that nobody gave a thank you. It would be nice to get a thank you.
2 weeks ago, and nobody even acknowledged it, for food. And it's terrible. You really at least want to have somebody say thank you. No other country gave anything. We gave $60 million 2 weeks ago for food.
Okay. Now, you see the lady sitting by him. He said no other country gave anything. When, in fact, when the prime minister from Britain is sitting next to him, he says, oh, I know you gave something, and I know you gave something. He's a total liar. Let's continue.
Gaza. And nobody acknowledged it. Nobody talks about it.
You have got to be kidding me. The United States has sent billions of dollars to Israel in money and weapons. Those weapons.
What is $600 million in today's billionaire society? Nobody thanked him for the $600 million. And then he goes on. I mean, he was all over the place this weekend. They see the food 30 yards away, but they can't get to it. But nobody thank you for it. Let's continue. There are a couple of more quotes from this interview that I want to discuss with you.
He's saying,
and it makes you feel a little bad when you do that, and you have other countries not giving anything. None of the European countries, by the way, gave. I mean, nobody gave it us, and nobody said, "Gee, thank you very much." And it would be nice to have at least a thank you. And I took a lot of heat. When I do that, a lot of people aren't happy about that because they say, "Well, why are we doing it and nobody else?" But I think we had a humanitarian reason for doing it. What's going to happen? I don't know. I can tell you that Hamas, as I said, would happen at the end. We've gotten back a lot of hostages, a tremendous number of hostages, most of them. Now we have dead hostages, and the mothers want them back.
Still not done. Here we go. Same meeting. Listen to what he says here.
When you were in the Middle East, you talked about the images coming out of Gaza.
Okay, so you notice that there was no answer about if Israelis should be more to be feeding the hostages. He pontificated about bullshit.
Starving kids. Those images are still going. Many of them are much worse. Thinner children, starving. What do you see or feel when you look at those images today?
Well, it's terrible. When I see the children, and when I see, especially over the last couple of weeks, and people are stealing the food, they're stealing.
These children have been starving for months, especially over the last. It is okay to starve them, but I have to see the bones, their rib bones, protruding from their back before I deem that. This is bad. Let's continue.
The money, they're stealing the money for the food.
That's a lie. This is a total fucking lie.
Now, Hamas is stealing the money for the food. How is that working? With Hamas, they are so robust. When Netanyahu himself, they are not even going after Hamas because it is alleged that Netanyahu himself that said that Hamas is so weakened that he see fighters out there fighting in flip-flops in the last throes of this shooting guns in flip-flops in the last throes of this whole ordeal. And let's be clear, this is not about nothing about Hamas. This is about their final solution and ridding one of the Israelis big mouths came out and said, well, we're going to pin them all down, and either they're going to self-deport to Ethiopia or African countries or wherever, or because Palestine is not going to be livable. Let's continue.
Yeah, they're stealing the no. You know who's stealing the food? It's Israel, because they are blocking the food from getting in. Nobody's stealing it. There's this bullshit fucking zombie lie.
So, yes, this is a lie that they are stealing the food. Kyle Kalinske, go in on it for you. I just want you to hear they're stealing of the food.
It's a mess. That whole place is a mess.
Jiu-jitsu move. Blame Hamas.
They're stealing weapons. They're stealing everything. It's a mess. That whole place is.
They're stealing foods. They're stealing weapons. Who's sending weapons over there? Who is sending weapons over there? No, they are creating weapons out of the bombs that have been dropped on them. Those are the weapons that they are creating weapons for. They're stealing weapons. From whom? Let's continue.
It's a mess. The Gaza Strip, was given many years ago so that they could have peace. That didn't work out too well. When Israel gave that up, whoever was the prime minister.
When Israel gave that up, whoever was the prime minister, he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Whoever was the prime minister, but I know who it was.
At the time, who I know who it was, but it was not exactly a very clever thing to do, because that was given so that they finally have peace, and it's actually made
this is more bullshit, Hasbara. Israel pulled out of the Gaza Strip, so why isn't there peace? They started to militarily occupy it and treat it like an open-air prison. In no sense of the word is that giving it up, as if they have sovereignty. They didn't have the right to have their own military. They didn't have the right to have their own airport. They didn't control their own borders. Israel didn't allow the food in or the goods in that they need. This is such fucking horseshit. This is all right-wing, Likud, Hasbara, claptrap bullshit that he's spewing.
Okay, you must go over and join secular talk. Let's hear a little bit more of the bullshit that came in this interview.
They continue to send people that we rebuff to our border. They continue to send drugs into our country, Venezuela. And they've been very nasty.
That wasn't the question.
Say, I think Iran is acting up. What are you talking about?
Like we have Venezuela acting up.
You've got to be kidding me. This has got to be a joke. This is a sick joke.
Wait.
You're asked about shit. This is all right-wing, Likud, Hasbara, claptrap bullshit that he's spewing.
I want you to know that they're talking about Israel and Palestinian. And all of this, you got Venezuela and Iran. They're talking about what's going on in Palestine. And this is his clown's answer. Let's continue.
We'll see what happens. I think Iran is acting up. I think that we have a lot of people.
Bro, what? What? You're asked about the starving kids in Gaza and you say, I think Iran is acting up? What are you talking about?
Like we have Venezuela acting up.
You've got to be kidding me. This has got to be a joke. This is a sick joke. You're asked about starving babies in Gaza, and now you're talking about Venezuela?
They continue to have, and this is just getting a little off subject, but we have now the safest border and this is just getting a little off subject, but we have now the safest, and we can't let that happen. But we have other countries too. We do have, and this is just getting a little off subject, but we have now the safest border we've ever had.
Oh!
Now he's talking about this. We have the safest border we ever had. Has nothing, no fucking common sense. Deflect. You didn't ask me about this. Let's continue.
Oh my God. 25th Amendment, dog. He's not there anymore. This is wild.
You have the hottest country in the world. We don't have. And I say it all the time. Every leader, when I went to NATO the other day, every leader said, you have the hottest country in the world. We don't have.
They say.
Now, he's talking about how hot our country is and all of this bull. This is, I can imagine what is swirling around this woman's head. They are there to set the tariffs. If you would know, they found he sat down with this lady, and the tariffs was a great success. Instead of 30% tariffs, he did the thing. They want you to know that he did the thing, and he got the tariffs. He got her to pay. Hey, Kiva. He got her to pay 15% tariffs, and he got the EU to commit to do what? He got the EU to admit guarantee 600 billion, and something the EU admits that it can't guarantee the $600 billion to Trump. Now they want us to believe on our for-profit media that he did his big one in increasing the prices of everything that we get from the UE. Our biggest trading partner is going to cause us to have to pay 15% more. And he is saying that he got a no paperwork, no anything. He got a deal where they have to spend $600 billion on United States products. This is who he was sitting with to get this deal for the United States, that your prices are going up. Understand, anytime he says he's successful in these tariffs, that means your prices are going up. The companies don't pay the tariffs. You pay the tariffs. Are we clear on that? Let's hear some more of this cockamamie bullshit. Okay.
Sir, you're incredible, sir. Sir, is that your opinion of this? They say we're the hottest country in the world. He acts like he...
We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We have...
Visit with Jeffrey Epstein.
The hottest country in the world. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We have the highest...
So we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. That's what he told you. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And he's speaking of the tariffs, which have not gone into effect yet. But we are taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. Since he's been back in the United States, he said that they have taken in so much money that they may give some Americans some Americans may receive a check. Then, that's the same thing Elon Musk said, that he was saving so much money that every American would probably get could probably get a $5,000 check because of all the money that they save. But he said some Americans. So I don't ever see 45, 47 looking out for average everyday Americans. 45, 47 only looks out for rich Americans. So the reason why you won't see this alleged rebate that he's lying to say that they may get from tariffs that have not been enacted, he's going to say that he gave them to the 1% so they can trickle it down to some jobs for you regular motherfuckers. Let's continue.
Stock market we've ever had. We have the best numbers we've ever had. But we have hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our country.
So we have hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our country, he says. But are you going to put any of this to bring down the deficit that you guys were complaining about and at the same time exploding? And you're talking about refund checks to some people, hundreds of billions of dollars flowing in, allegedly. You have nothing flowing in. It's all bullshit. Let's continue. All of this money is flowing in because of his fucked up tariff policies that have increased prices of everything that is going to be shipped into the United States. That is going to increase the prices on everything that you buy. But he's sitting up here talking about the hundreds of billions of dollars that allegedly are flowing in from tariffs that have not. August 1st is the date that the tariffs are supposed to be enacted. He was supposed to have gotten 90 deals in 90 days over 120 days ago. That never happened. Okay, so go. Is there anything else? Oh, there may be this. Okay, here we go. I think this is what I just played for you about the Gazans want to die. I think you can hear it a lot better here. The Palestinians want to die.
But I'm still not done with him yet. So this might be the lowest of the low. Here, Trump is going to say that, Palestinians, I mean, look, I think they want to die. I think they want to die. So what we're learning is, as we saw from the Axios article, Trump effectively greenlit the starvation and killing of over 1 million Palestinians. And here he is saying, I guess they want to die. It looks like they want to die.
They pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal.
That's a lie. Hamas offered Israel all the terms Israel said they wanted. They were willing to give up every hostage. Hamas was willing to lay their weapons down and leave Gaza. This was on the fucking table. And Israel said no. They didn't want Hamas to leave their weapons and leave Gaza. They didn't want that. Why?
And I have the article. I'm going to shoot you an article what Hamas actually offered. While you listen to this man who, it's a mess over there. It's just a mess. It's just like, oh God, it's nothing you can do. I think they want to die. They should finish the deal. They didn't want a deal. I'm going to read to you the deal. Homework. Olivia, try doing some homework on your commentary.
Because then they didn't
dumb shit commentary.
Have the perpetual boogeyman.
Old bitch at your age is sitting up doing dumb shit commentary. Okay.
Use, which justifies in their mind the mass slaughter and genocide and extermination of an entire people. There's no more boogeyman. You can't rationalize cracking down on this whole population anymore. So it was Israel that rejected Hamas dropping their weapons and leaving. This was a huge story. Shout out to Dropsite News. They got us this information. The entire time, Israel and the U.S. have not been negotiating in good faith, not even close.
Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad.
I think they want to die. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind?
It got to be to a point where you're going to have to finish the job.
You're going to have to finish the job. Spell that out for me a little more clearly. What does that mean? It got to a point where you're going to have to finish the job. That sounds like exactly what...
You're going to have to finish the job. You were finishing the job before it's gotten to a point you're going to have to finish the job. Well, that means that that was all the job all the time. If you're just going to go on and have to finish the job now, that means that has always been the job. What job? They're going to have to finish the job that they have been executing all this time. That job. Okay, so this link is in my description box. Let me share with you this right quick. Okay, here we go. Exclusive. Internal documents detail Hamas's proposals that preceded Trump's belligerent rant. Okay, this is by Jeremy Scahill and Joanna Ahmad. This was on July 27th of this month. Just in case you guys hadn't heard about this. Okay, so Hamas leader Khalid Ali Ayya delivered a speech on July 27, 2025. Hamas top political leader Khalid al-Hayya delivered a blistering speech Sunday night, accusing the U.S. and Israel of plotting to sabotage yet another potential ceasefire agreement to end the Gaza war. We state clearly, there is no point in continuing negotiations under the siege, genocide, and starvation of our children, women, and people in the Gaza Strip. Al-Hayya said, we will not accept that our people, their suffering, and blood of its children be sacrificed for the occupation negotiating tricks that the achievement of tricks and the achievement of its political goals. Let me do something. Here we go. Okay. Al-Hayya, who has led Hamas's negotiating team since Israel assassination of Hamas leader Ismail last summer in Tehran, accuses Israel and the U.S. of blackmail and charged that Israel was using the negotiation as a cover and a tool for starvation. He added, the immediate and dignified entry of food and medicine to our people is a serious and genuine expression of the viability of continuing negotiation. This round of negotiation has taken place as Israel has relentlessly bombed Gaza and forced masses of Palestinians into small patches of land against the sea abutting the western coast of the enclave. It has also forbidden Palestinians from entering the water under the threat of being killed. Israel forced starvation campaign has reached lethal levels, while Israel and the U.S. have concocted new schemes to pretend significant aid is entering Gaza. Yes, we see that. Okay. Or to blame the UN for Israel's deliberate denial of food and medicine to the Strip. Yes, we have seen that as well. The reality is that short of an individual scale aid distribution run by the UN, many more Palestinians are at imminent risk of death by famine. The real step is opening up crossings and allowing the entry of aid and in dignified manner for our people, something that is guaranteed by international law. even in times of war. Haya's speech marked the end of a week that saw both the U.S. and Israel announce that they were withdrawing their negotiators from Doha, Qatar, which featured President 4547 unleashing a threat-laden rant that appeared to encourage Israel to further intensify its war in the Gaza Strip. Okay. Last Wednesday, after consulting with a range of Palestinian political leaders of the group, as well as regional mediators from Qatar and Egypt, negotiators from Hamas submitted a handful of precisely crafted amendments to the latest Gaza ceasefire framework. Hamas had already agreed to the vast majority of the 13-point framework and had been informed by mediators that Israel had done the same. Drop Site News obtained a series of documents from the negotiation in Doha, showing the terms Hamas proposed to amend, as well as the maps for Israeli troop redeployment presented to Hamas by regional mediators alongside the maps counter proposed by Hamas. We were faced with two options: either agree to a weak rushed agreement where Israel could control the aid and impose wide buffer zones covering 40 to 50% of Gaza, ensure the possibility of resuming war, and add many other unjust conditions, or hold out for a good agreement, said Gaza Hamad, senior Hamas leader and the member of its negotiating team, in a TV interview Saturday with Al Arbe. We chose to be patient and to stand firm so we could reach a good deal. Hamas officials said that they were bewildered at the public response from the Trump administration on Friday. Trump launched into a belligerent tirade on the White House lawn as he prepared to embark on a trip to Europe. So he said all of this before he got to Europe. He said they need to finish it all. But then when he got to Europe, he pretended like, oh, yeah, the starving. Oh, the kids, they do look like they're starving. I'm going to set up a food place where they could just walk up to. He said that. Okay, so we're clear. We saw it. A belligerent tirade on the White House lawn as he prepared to embark on a trip to Europe. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die. And it is very, very bad. It got to be to a point where you are going to have to finish the job, Trump declared. Now we're down to the final hostages, and they know what happens after you get to the final hostages. And basically, because of that, they really didn't want to make a deal. I saw that. They're going to fight. And they're going to have to clean it up. You're going to have to get rid of them. Addressing Hamas leadership, Trump said, I think they will be hunted. They will be hunted down. Hamas officials said that they are surprised by Trump's comments and those of Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. I don't know why. What Hamas presented both in word and deed represented a positive, realistic, and flexible position. We offered a vision for all of the issues on the table, whether it related to maps, prisoner exchange mechanisms, prisoner exchange mechanism, aid, or guarantees for continuing negotiation beyond the 60-day period, said Hamad. That's why the American position was surprising. It was tense and rigid, offering no explanations. Instead, it relied on language of threats and intimidation. That's exactly what it relied on. Another senior Hamas official told Drop Site Trump is playing a strategic game of deception, adding that the U.S. and Israel were seeking to increase pressure on Hamas to capitulate. He said Trump's comments and similar ones made by Witkoff were intended to imply more pressure before the next round of negotiations to buy time for Prime Minister Netanyahu to recognize the internal situation. The internal situation of 28 nations speaking out about the hunger that's going on. So they're biding time, trying to pretend like, oh well, look, we're gonna let aid in. Aid is already in. Oh, they're not starving. Oh, we're gonna loosen the checkpoints to let more aid in. That's what they're doing. Some analysts have suggested that if Netanyahu had signed a deal prior to the recession of the Israeli Kinsnet on July 27, he would have contended with the possible collapse of his governing coalition. So Netanyahu has instead delayed signing the deal. The Kinsnet is not scheduled to reconvene into October. That is the trial that he couldn't attend on, I believe it was Friday, because he had a bellyache. That is what is that? The Kisnet? I don't know. I think that's what it is. Over the past 3 weeks, Israeli and Palestinian negotiators had been wrangling over three primary issues in the proximity talks with regional mediators: how much aid would enter Gaza and who would distribute it. Where Israel forces would withdraw to during a ceasefire, and the size of mutually agreed buffer zones encircling Gaza, and how many Palestinian captives would be freed in exchange for 10 living and 18 deceased Israeli held in Gaza. There's allegedly 20 living and 38 dead in Gaza. The last time that I heard a number of hostages. I can't believe. I find it hard to believe that anybody is dragging around these 38 dead people, and I find it hard to believe that none of these people didn't die from the conditions that they are being bombed on by Israel. I find it hard to believe that even these 38 people who are dead I don't know, how did they die. Uh, I don't know. Negotiations, in my view, were no less important, serious, or dangerous than the battlefield it says had Hamas. What the occupation failed to achieve through military force, killing, criminality, and starvation, it tried to impose through negotiations, trying to force realities and facts on Hamas that we could never accept. Prior to formally submitting its amendments for response from the U.S. and Israel, Hamas negotiators spent days going through the proposal with Qatar and Egyptian mediators. We achieved clear progress and reached a broad agreement with what the mediators presented, especially regarding withdrawal and prisoners and the entry of aid, says Al Haya. The mediators conveyed positive responses from the Zionist occupations. However, we were surprised when the occupation withdrew from the negotiation in response to Hamas's amendment. So they're saying that Israel withdrew from the talks when they made their amendments, which were approved by the mediators in Qatar and Egypt. This is what they're saying. The Gaza ceasefire negotiation are once again at a crucial crossroads. After pulling out their negotiation, Netanyahu and Trump, Whitnoff, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio all said that they will pursue alternative options to recover Israelis captives outside of a negotiation deal. On Friday, Netanyahu convened with cabinet members and top security officials to discuss occupying additional territories, a siege on Gaza City, and a U.S. assisted pressure on Hamas leaders abroad. Some Israeli journalists have suggested that this could come in the form of more assassination of Hamas political leaders abroad, or demands that they be expelled from Qatar or other nations. There's a real possibility that Israel intends to dramatically escalate its military assault on Gaza, backed by the threats issued by 45-47. Israel is going to have to make a decision. I know what I do, but I don't think it's appropriate that I say it, Trump said Sunday without explaining. Yes, he did say that. I know what I do, but I don't think it's appropriate that I say it. Trump said Sunday without explaining. He said that when he greeted the Prime Minister of Britain on his to his golf course. That's exactly what he said. He said, "I know what I do, but I dare not say it." Okay, so. Okay, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham predicted that Israel would dispense with the negotiation and ratchet up its military assault on Gaza. There's no way you're going to negotiate an end of the war with Hamas, he said. Israel is going to do in Gaza what we did to Tokyo and Berlin, take the place by force and then start all over again. Oh my God. Presenting a better future for the Palestinians. They don't want the Palestinians there. See, this is a farce. They do not want the Palestinians there. They've already said that they want them to self-deport, or they're going to deport them somewhere else. They're going to take all the land. Why are we pretending like this is not what they're going to do? It is also plausible that these threats are, as Hamas officials have suggested an attempt to back Hamas into a corner by using the starving and besieged population of Gaza as collateral. On July 25th, Egypt and Qatar issued a joint statement saying that the suspension of the negotiations to hold consultations before resuming the dialogue again is a neutral matter in the context of the complex negotiation. They added that along with the U.S., Qatar, Egypt affirmed their commitment to completing efforts to reach a comprehensive ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip. In an interview with 45-47 daughter-in-law Laura Trump, who sings like a goat, who they're talking about is going to be running for senator. Is it in North Carolina? Oh my God. On Fox News Sunday, Wickoff appeared to express optimism that a Gaza agreement remained possible. A deal with Hamas, which has lingered just a drop, is now coming together. Okay, so it also has these are Hamas's proposal for humanitarian aid to Gaza. Hamas want the United Nations to be in charge of the distribution of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip, which is normal, while Israeli endorsed framework only states that the UN will participate in distribution. Prior to March 2nd, aid was distributed through 400 non-militarized points throughout Gaza, a system overseen by the UN. In an amendment, Hamas proposed that the complete abolishment of the U.S.-Israeli aid scheme known as the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. That is they want to completely abolish this. This is the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Is this foundation that the U.S. and Israel have put together to block out the UN from being in charge of feeding Gaza, and has allegedly hired a lot of militia people, and these are the people who are shooting at the Palestinian civilians coming to get food. I would want that abolished as well. More than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed attempting to collect meager rations at its sites in Gaza. The centers established by the Israeli army in the Gaza Strip, which were used by the GHF, will be dismantled. Hamas negotiators wrote. Aid will be distributed in the Gaza Strip through the United Nations, its agencies, and the Palestinian Red Crescent, in addition to instructions operating in the Gaza Strip prior to March 2nd of 2025. Okay, I find that reasonable. Rafah is the only access Palestinians in Gaza have to a world beyond Israeli control. Israeli invaded and occupied Rafah on May 2024 and shut the Rafah crossing down. It was briefly reopened and in a limited capacity for some of the wounded and sick people to leave Gaza during the January ceasefire, but was again closed after Israelis resumed its genocidal assault on Gaza on March 18th. Hamas proposal on Israeli withdrawal. They had a proposal. So they said that Hamas didn't want to negotiate, and here is a complete negotiation of what they were asking for. So you can read that Hamas proposal for freeing Palestinians held captive by Israel. Both Israel and Hamas have agreed that 10 living and 18 deceased Israeli captives will be released during the initial 2-month ceasefire. 8 living Israelis will be freed on the first day of the deal. And So this is the framework. So go here. Let me drop this in my link just in case it is not in my. Just in case it is not in my. Just in case it's not already in my description box. Here is the deal that 4547 is lying to you and telling you that is not in existence. This is one last thing I want to share with you about this. There are many, many other things on here about this to share, but I definitely want to share with you. Cindy McCain tells CNN. Cindy McCain has a group where she sends out in war torn areas and have successfully fed people. And Cindy McCain tells CNN Israeli troops fire on crowds approaching Gaza aid convoy. So if you can't believe anything else, this is a Republican saint who does this. Let me see if I can get to her portion of the story. Here she is right here. Okay.
Organization trying to distribute badly needed food. Well, I spoke with the. And we warned you those images would be distressing, and they were. I'm afraid.
We're going to look at some of the images.
At least 73 people were killed to facilitate the transfer of human rights. Pouring the water together. In the space of 24 hours, 18 deaths were caused by famine, according to the Ministry of Health in Gaza. Yasser Ahmad was waiting at this soup kitchen since 6 a.m., desperate to take something home to his family of 12. Flour is expensive, he says. Everything is expensive. Where can we get food from? We don't know what we'll do in the end. Eat each other? When his turn comes, the amount poured into his bowl is minimal. He walks the 4 kilometers back home. When his wife sees how little is in the pot, she starts crying. Is this enough for 12 people, she asks? Is it enough for a woman who is 7 months pregnant? Even a 1-year-old child wouldn't be satisfied by this. Pouring the watery soup into one bowl, the family... Even a 1-year-old child...
Oh God, I apologize. I'm gonna have to reset this. I apologize. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I messed that up. Hold on 1 second. I messed that up. Hold on 1 second. I messed that up. Hold on 1 second. Oh my goodness, my goodness. I have so many things in here. I'm having a hard time finding it again. I have so many clips in my description box. Let me find this. Ah, let me see. The tipping point. Was it the tipping point? Mhm. Let me see. Oh, let me see. Let me see. I apologize. Nope, that's not it. Okay, I'm going to find this. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me go here. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me find it. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let me share this with you because I definitely want you to see this. Here it is. CNN tells Cindy McCain tells CNN Israeli troops fired on crowds approaching Gaza aid. Okay.
The father allows himself just one spoonful, leaving the rest for his children and grandchildren. After this, he says he will go to another soup kitchen to see if he can keep starvation at bay for one more day. Israel says the military is working to allow and facilitate the transfer of humanitarian aid into Gaza, including food, adding there are trucks yet to be picked up by aid groups. The UN says Israel often denies permission to move aid or approves routes too dangerous to travel. Thousands across Gaza risk their lives every day in the search for food. At least 73 people were killed Sunday by Israeli gunfire while trying to access aid, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The IDF says it, quote, fired warning shots in order to remove an immediate threat posed to them. It cast doubt on the death toll. The UN says accessing aid has become a death trap. The UN World Food Programme says Gaza's hunger crisis has now reached new levels of desperation. Hospital officials say they're seeing an unprecedented number of starving citizens arriving at emergency departments. A man-made catastrophe that has been continuously warned about. No one can say they didn't see this coming.
We've had a statement as well from the foreign ministers of more than 24 Western nations, including the UK, France, Australia, Canada. It's stronger than it often is from these countries, saying that the suffering of civilians in Gaza has reached new depths. Also saying, quote, the Israeli government's denial of essential humanitarian assistance to the civilian population is unacceptable, saying the number of people that have been killed while seeking aid is horrifying. Paula, thank you. And we warned you those images would be distressing, and they were, I'm afraid. The UN World Food Programme demanding shootings near aid sites in Gaza stop immediately. As you heard in Paula's report, dozens of Palestinians were reportedly killed by Israeli fire on Sunday as the organisation tried to distribute badly needed food. Well, I spoke with the WFP's chief, Cindy McCain. We spoke earlier today, and she explained in detail what happened.
This is one of the worst tragedies we've seen so far in this particular war. What happened was we had clearance to go through the Zakim gate. We were through the gate. The Israelis had, as you know, they clear everything and they decide when and if you go in. And we began our trek down the road, and what we saw were thousands of people running towards us. And they were hungry, they're starving. And all of a sudden, the Israeli tanks, Israeli guns, Israeli weapons from all kinds started firing on the crowd. And it was just, it's something that I hope never happens again. But more importantly, our group, WFP, our people that work for us were there too, and they were put in grave danger as a result of that. No humanitarian aid worker should ever be a target of anything.
This follows a trend over the last 2 months where over 800 Palestinians have been killed around aid distribution sites. The majority of those are at the controversial US-backed and Israel-supported Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Can you be very specific? Are you coordinating in any way or supporting in any way that operational model? And what is your view on the GHF?
Well, we are not coordinating, and we do not work with GHF. As you know, we're a UN agency, and so we have our UN, the way the UN operates is different from what the GHF is doing. I don't really have any information about them at all because we don't even talk.
The GHF model was developed according to those involved with it, with private sector input and Israeli government coordination, designed to minimize Hamas interference. And there is much reporting of Hamas loot.
Okay, the GHF, this is that new agency that the United States and Israel put together, designed to minimize Hamas stealing the food. But as you see, these people, these children and these women and men have been starved out. What do they tell you? That Hamas stole all the food. And who are they shooting? They're shooting civilians. But they were created to protect the food from Hamas, which they're telling you who is stealing the food, why the population is starving, that Netanyahu said that is not starving. So here we go. This is the bullshit. That's who that is, to be clear.
Is there any evidence to suggest that that is correct? Have you seen any evidence of that? What is the picture on the ground?
Well, the picture on the ground is terrifying. Under no circumstances do we want any armed groups involved in or watching over or guiding us in whatever way they feel they should. Armed groups are not necessary, and we do not want them. We want to deal in safety and with the guidance of humanitarian principles and humanitarian law. When we had full access, we had 400 distribution sites. We were getting in 600 trucks a day. So the capability that we have is unmatched by any other organization or any other foundation with that in that respect. And the truth is, right now, the most important thing we could do is get the food in, and we know where our food goes because we have a system on the ground that is tested and works. And so, as far as the looting goes, we view it a little differently. These people are starving to death. It is looting, but they're hungry, and so that does occur.
Is there any evidence to suggest that Hamas operatives, those associated with Hamas on the ground, are involved in that looting, in interfering with the aid distribution to the extent that that food aid is not getting into the hands of those who need it most?
You know, we've not seen that. We have seen what happens as a result of people starving to death. But with regards to who's in the armed groups and what it is, no, we've not seen that at all. We just continue to do our job and get the job done as much as we can.
Is there any sense that Israel will allow WFP and other aid organizations to do their job and restart aid? Have you spoken directly to Israeli authorities?
We talk to Israeli authorities daily, and each day there is some promises made, and we believe in the good faith. You're working on good faith. We need a ceasefire. That's exactly what we need right now to make sure that we can.
Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. When you hear 45, 47 come out with all these lies, understand that it is a lot of propaganda. And if you want to hear propaganda in its full-fledged mode, the only person that I know that have these Israeli ministers and spokespeople on that I can hear spew all of this propaganda and try to talk over everyone who's talking and yelling and screaming are these representatives from Israel. Go over there and see the propaganda at work. But you may not have to go to Israel to see the propaganda at work. Because if you did not know, Israel is paying influencers who have a lot of followers, a opportunity to come over in Israel and to learn how to use this Israeli propaganda. I just want to share that with you. This is my last thing. It's a lot of other videos, but I just really want you to know that what they're doing to teach American influencers how to use propaganda. This Israeli propaganda.
Spot them. When Benjamin Netanyahu came to DC, Israel might be controlling your favorite influencer. Here's how you spot them. When Benjamin Netanyahu came to DC to meet with Trump, most of the attention was focused on their plans for Gaza. What completely flew under the radar is that Benjamin Netanyahu had another meeting where he met with a group of conservative influencers. The group included podcasters Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Sean Spicer, and writers Bethany Mandel, David Harris Jr., Jessica Krause, Seth Mandel, and Molly Hemingway. Some of the people on this list have several millions of followers, and they were meeting not just with Israel's head of state, but also his diplomatic advisor and the Israeli ambassador to the United States. There are no videos or direct quotes from the meeting because it was conducted under Chatham House rules, which is basically a rule set for meetings in elite circles where the people attending, especially journalists, meet on the basis that nothing said in the meeting can be directly attributed to any individual, and then you can only say what was generally talked about. Some of the topics covered include Iran and anti-Zionist sentiment online. While we don't know for sure everything that was discussed, it's hard to imagine that Netanyahu convened influencers for any other reason than to try to convince them to be propagandists for Israel. So is there any evidence of Israel manipulating online spaces to change public opinion? Yes. In fact, it's a stated position of the Israeli Foreign Ministry. Just 3 days after October 7th, Israel launched an initiative to recruit social media influencers in the United States to defend Israel. A spokesperson said, "Fighting on social networks and influencing international public opinion is critical during wartime. The world must understand that Israel's struggle is one of light against darkness, a life-loving culture versus lowly terrorists. It's obvious why Israel needs propaganda. The only way to have a country based on legalized racial supremacy is through propaganda, like Nazi Germany and Jim Crow apartheid had, that twists the reality of the situation. And Israel actually has its own word for propaganda, which is Hasbara, which translates to explain in Hebrew. In the weeks following October 7th, Israel already had a lot to explain. A number of American influencers got emails offering them $5,000 and brand sponsorships in exchange for doing a single live stream supporting Israel. The email read, "I'm reaching out to you on behalf of a global collective of agencies, influencers, and content creators who are coming together to raise awareness about the difficult situation in Israel. As you're aware, the people of Israel are currently fighting not just a war against Hamas terrorism at home, but also in the battle to tell the story to the world." There's no telling who organized this collective of agencies or who they were, but it's clear that recruiting influencers is one of the central chosen tactics of the Israeli Hasbara machine. The reason influencers are so important is because influencer-based marketing is much more subtle than an ad in a fixed programming slot.
Okay, so let me see. Is this the one? Oh, here we go. Let's get to the G-ish of this. What can influencer do?
Followers out to Israel on an all-expenses paid vacation with an organization dedicated to flying VIP influencers, meaning people with 3 million or more online followers, out to Israel on an all-expenses paid vacation where they go swimming and dancing and shopping and out to restaurants. Many of the people that go on this trip don't know anything about Israel and have never posted about it. They're being taken under the guise of discovering Israel, which might sound innocuous, but the way the trips work is that you're being showered with these gifts and fancy dinners and beach trips without any mention of how the Palestinians are treated, and then the organizers tell you about how there are these people out there called Palestinians who hate Jews and want to destroy Israel and all the wonderful things you're experiencing on this trip so far. Then the organizers coach you on how to post about Israel and how to deal with the anti-Semites, meaning people who oppose genocide, in the comments. Yola Israel closely monitors how much their influencers post, and they report that the average person that takes one of their trips makes 100 posts about Israel while they're on the trip. Even though the group is an ostensibly small non-government organization, the trips are funded by the Zionist mega-donor group, the Adelson Family Foundation, and the director.
And we know that Adelson family, what's her name? I believe is Marion Adelson, gave $100 million to 47 in his run for the office. This in 2024, her husband, Sheldon Adelson, was he a casino magnate, and they basically are filthy rich and are always spending their money to get the effect that they want. Let's go.
The group itself is an American-born woman named Sarah Granoff, who formerly served as an IDF spokeswoman and speechwriter for Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon. There are several other nearly identical organizations like Vibe Israel, BZ Media, Sharaka, which focuses specifically on bringing delegations from Arab and Muslim countries, Is Really Cool, which tries to highlight the stories of converted anti-Semites, Hasbara Fellowships, which targets students, and so on. Major Zionist organizations like the Jewish National Fund, Stand With Us, and the American Jewish Committee have also started their own influencer programs. The Israeli government is also just hiring PR firms that do influencer-based marketing to do marketing for Israel. Here's a Spanish firm with no ostensible pro-Israel bias that was hired by the Israeli Ministry of Tourism to bring two gay influencers to Tel Aviv to, quote, present Israel as a gay-friendly destination, focusing on the Tel Aviv Gay Pride Parade, one of the world's most important gay-themed festivals. Here's another PR firm that pays influencers to post pre-written messages with Israeli talking points. One of the biggest targets for Israel is Christian evangelicals. Influencer trips for evangelical influencers have skyrocketed and have been organized by groups like the Maccabee Task Force. Israel sees evangelicals not only as an important demographic for shoring up support in America, but also for giving the illusion that Israel's land theft has some kind of biblical history to it. An article in the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, written about some of the groups involved in these Christian influencer trips, featured quotes from American pastors saying that Jewish people were chosen by God and that Palestine was promised to them. Groups like Israel 365 Media do this on the domestic front, paying Christian influencers to tell their audiences that Christians have a...
Now, how many of you who grew up in Christian households and they say that God said he's always going to protect the Jewish land and all of this? The woman who was on Piers Morgan's last night, he asked her something about being a settler on Palestinian land. And she said unequivocally that this is the land that God had for the Jewish people. So this link is in my description box. I want to share one more, the last link about the propaganda and the influence that they are seeking through these influencers. We really need to understand who is trying to influence us and why. Let me see. Here we go. Let's see what else they are tempting these influencers with. Now, Netanyahu was here, and when Netanyahu was here, Netanyahu's son approached Joel Rogan. You know, Joel Rogan, the MAGA head, the MAGA pundit, who has finally seen the light, but continues to have these MAGA politicians and MAGA leaning people on his show. And thank goodness that the Midas Touch podcast has toppled Joe Rogan in the #1 place for podcasts. So that's just a side note.
Bro, like, it's no big deal, it's whatever. But their audience is sort of like, hey, go fuck yourself. So guess what? We just got word. It wasn't just the Nelk boys that, Netanyahu was trying to get on their shows. It was also Joe Rogan. So clearly, Netanyahu knows that Israel has not just a PR problem, a substantive problem, because you're committing a genocide and everybody fucking knows it. But he realizes, hey, we're losing the young demographic. Let me try to go get the young demographic. So what did he do? Let's call it what it is, y'all. He singled out the biggest idiot programs and said, I want to go on that idiot show so I can get my message out there without any interference whatsoever, right? And that,
much like 4547, I went on Joe Rogan's show for a 3-hour interview, and Joe Rogan asked him nothing of substance, just suck his pee-pee.
That's why you got the Nelk boys, and also he tried to reach out to Rogan. Now, to Rogan's credit, he rejected him. Ready for this? So here's Yair Netanyahu, who's the entitled little prick son of Benjamin Netanyahu, who's partying it up in Miami as his dad starves babies to death in Gaza. He said the following: great wake-up call for conservatives to remember Joe Rogan is not a conservative. He gave platform to every single neo-Nazi anti-Semite on this planet. What? But he refuses to have my father on his show because he knows that he doesn't stand a chance against him. And all those years of anti-Semitic propaganda will go to waste. Yeah, bro. That's what we call cope. Oh, he knows, bro. Like, my dad will destroy him, bro. No, your dad wants to go on Rogan because he knows Rogan's a little bitch and he let Trump say whatever Trump wanted to say without interfering. What the right thing to do was, right? Like, look at this. Here he is on Lex Friedman. This is in 2022. Here's what he said about this issue. Listen.
By the way, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. I've had the opportunity to have him on my show more than once. I've said no every time. I don't want to help him. I'm not interested in helping him.
The night is still young. We'll see.
If I have him on, the night is still young?
Yeah.
You think I'll have him on?
I think you'll have him on.
Really? Why do you think that? Because you'll have Putin on?
And you're competitive as fuck. No. I think ultimately, I mean, you've had a lot of people that I think you may otherwise be skeptical. Would I have a good conversation? Which I think is your metric. You don't care about politics, so can I have a good conversation? And I think you had
all the while giving a platform for the MAGA to win the youth vote. That's all I have for you guys today.
Fucking concentration camps that he built. Now you own the bombing of Yemen.
Hold on.
Which is just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me. Like, if you are correctly saying, I'm not going to have Netanyahu on because what good can come of it? He's just trying to whitewash his crimes. Don't you realize it's the same fucking shit for Donald Trump? He's using you to get votes. And clearly Rogan was fine with that because he wound up endorsing him. He wound up going to the inauguration. But, like, now you fucking own it. Now you own the fucking concentration camps that he built. Now you own the bombing of Yemen and the bombing of Iran. You know, now you own the rounding up of innocent people outside of fucking Home Depots, which you've tepidly disagreed with. Now you own.
I don't understand. I don't like it. But you endorsed it. Joe Rogan definitely endorsed 4547 and gave him a platform. Why are these MAGA podcasters so surprised? Because they don't want to lose their audience. That's all this is.
The economy.
But like I said, the Midas Touch has become the number one podcast. If you're not a subscriber to the Midas Touch, go over there and make yourself comfortable. Good content.
Imploding and prices skyrocketing because of his dumbass trade war. And so I just wish the fact that he was able to say no to Netanyahu, like he should have been able to say no to Trump, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He got high on his own supply, surrounded by a bunch of right-wing grifters, liked the vibes of Trump, self-radicalized, and ended up being a pawn of the establishment and a pawn of the fascists. And that's why we are where we are. But it's kind of amazing that, I mean, do you realize how disgusting a person you have to be when the people that fell for Trump's bullshit can't even see through your bullshit, Netanyahu? Like, think about that. That's a wild thing to think about, right?
So Netanyahu knows that he has a problem. People are looking at what he's doing. Ron, if you have said it before, if I have said it before, let me say it again. I appreciate you for bringing the knowledge of what is happening in this world. Some may not understand politics, but they should. And that's why I just try to give it to you the best I can. I try to lead you to the channels where I get information to. I try to lead you. That's why I always put links in here because some of the stuff I get on Rutgers, Axios, Rolling Stone, all over the place, some Substacks articles. So that's why I always drop the links of where I get the information from. We should be looking for information in many different places. And thank you for that, Regina M. I'm just trying to give some information because it's about to get real out here. And I just want people to be able to look out for themselves and to keep themselves protected for what's to come. So with that, I'm going to end my show today. I appreciate you all coming out. Please hit the like button, share. If you're commenting, I know you're subscribed. So I hope you guys have a wonderful remainder of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.